things have cleared up here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. 80 degrees as we get ready for kickoff. Duke won the toss. They elect to defer. There's the star, Cam Ward, Jesse, Heisman contender. He is the real deal.
No doubt about it. He's licking his chops for another opportunity to go up and light up the defense. Mario Cristobal has said it time and time again. He's just built different.
Manny Diaz, he was, of course, the Miami head coach. As Chris Johnson Jr. fields this and is met at about the 22-yard line. And all the statistical superlatives, we spoke about this offense being explosive. Well, Jesse, Cam Ward leads the nation in completions over 20 yards.
He has everything you're looking for. Arm talent, accuracy at all three levels. We talked about the poise, and I think, Joe, his athleticism and his escapability is a dimension this offense has been missing for years. But today against Duke, he's got to be great with ball security. Duke has 19 takeaways on the season. It's more than any other Power 4 team in the country. Ward has to keep two hands on the ball in the pocket, and he has to make good decisions throwing downfield.
Plenty of time and gets it over the middle, but incomplete to the usually reliable Xavier Restrepo. And the coverage came from Trey Freeman. There you see that Miami offense, #1 in the country, nearly 47 points per game.
Well, they can beat you in so many different ways, too. I know we always talk about Cam Ward, Joe, but they're a very physical running attack as well. And if defenses try to play two high safeties and take away the deep shots, they can get it done on the ground.
Empty set on second down. As he goes for that jump ball, and that is incomplete. He was looking for the 6'4" tight end Elijah Arroyo. Jalen Stinson had coverage. There's a big height advantage for Arroyo in that matchup.
10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Penalty all the way back at the 9-yard line.
Penalty is declined. Third down.
It's declined, so it'll make for a 3rd and 10.
Well, now sets up 3rd and long, and 3rd and long for Duke triggers DB pressure. This is where Manny Diaz and his coaching staff love to give you some funky, exotic looks up front, try and confuse you, and more often than not, they're blitzing small, fast guys from the second level to get after your quarterback. So Miami's got to communicate, and their running backs in the backfield have to do a great job picking up these pressures.
3rd down and 10. Ward looking for an option and finding one for a first down with Horton. Zay Horton out to the 45-yard line.
Well, that time, Duke didn't bring any pressure. Instead, they decided to spy. These two guys are just kind of hovering, and they're waiting for Cam Ward to take off. But it opens up a window over the middle of the field for Cam Ward to take advantage of. Really nice job getting through his progression, and he finds his 6'4" receiver Horton with a big first down.
22 yards to Horton. Now quickly Restrepo, who's closing in on what could be a historic day. Xavier Restrepo, who's working his way up the program record book.
It's amazing how quickly Cam Ward's able to get rid of the football. His throwing mechanics, he's like a shortstop turning two. Do you see how fast he got that out to Restrepo early, where he had space and could make something happen after the catch?
11 yards to Restrepo. Quickly again, this is George, but it is well defensed that time by Chandler Rivers, who's been having an outstanding season.
Yeah, you can make the argument Chandler Rivers is the best defensive player for Duke. And here he is going up against Elijah Arroyo, a tight end, much smaller than Arroyo, but he's able to beat the block and secure a great tackle. Chandler Rivers, 2 picks in the last 2 games. Cam Ward's got to be careful when he throws number 0's way.
Tackled for a loss of 5. The slant complete. Horton again. So 6 straight passes to start the game for Miami and Cam Ward.
And a big thing about that completion, Joe, is it gets it into third and manageable. So Duke's not going to go to their exotic package on defense here. They're going to stay a little bit more vanilla, and that's going to help Miami up front locate which guys are rushing, who's not, make it a lot easier on them to convert this.
3rd down and 5. Martinez, first run of the game, and he's going to get that extra push for a first down. Kane.
He's such a physical runner. The Oregon State transfer inside, loves going between the tackles. He's patient. And Joe, these 2- and 3-yard runs early in games, they become 6, 7, 8-yard gains later. You've seen the last 2 games against Louisville and Florida State. Boy, oh boy, he can push the pile.
Ward, seemingly always at the ready. Look at him extending the play, and now downfield, touchdown! That is how Cam Ward does it. Right to Restrepo after doing a 360 dipsy-do to extend the play. Terry Moore got a piece of it, but Restrepo got all of it. How about Cam Ward?
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 91. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown.
You've seen Cam Ward this year do this time and time again. You saw it against Florida week 1. You saw it against Louisville a few weeks ago. Buying time, holding the football, allowing receivers to scramble themselves open in the back end. What a throw and what a catch by Restrepo, who was wide open in the end zone. That ball actually got deflected before he was able to bring it in.
This is our 3rd time we broadcast Miami this year. We've said it before. Cam Ward does things that others just don't. This was a great example. And, of course, one of the best to ever do it at Miami on the receiving end, Xavier Restrepo. Ball was tipped, and he still had focus enough for the score.
Xavier Restrepo. This play takes 8 seconds from snap to throw. Duke not able to get home on Cam Ward. He pirouettes. He's able to buy time. A lot of QBs just take the easy tight end there on the out route. Instead, he's trying to throw it up and over. Terry Moore gets a hand on it, and the concentration drill by Restrepo in the back end is just remarkable, and that only the 5th completion that Duke has allowed this year of 30 or more yards.
It's only the 8th passing touchdown that the Duke defense has given up this season. They have come in statistically an outstanding defense.
You go back and take a look at this again. I mean, this is not supposed to go to Restrepo. He's just kind of in the middle of the field. It's not there. I'm running a corner. No, I'm not. I'm running a post. And now it's just scramble drill. I got to get open. My quarterback's rolling to the right. I've got to work to the right as well. And Jacoby George actually worked his way into his area of the field, and even with the defender getting the hand on it, one of the all-time greats in Miami, able to come up with a huge catch.
Xavier Restrepo, who comes in today, ranked 2nd in career receptions, 3rd in receiving yards, could make history today. He's off to a very good start in doing that. And Malik Murphy in the Duke offense, their first possession. They go with the slant, but that was denied, knocked away by Daryl Porter. He was looking for Higgins. Last week against SMU, Malik Murphy played one of his better games.
Yeah, the Texas transfer looked really good. He's the prototypical pocket passer. 6'5", 230, can stay in there, can see the field. He's got the arm talent, Joe, to make all the throws. But that game last week against SMU, he was in a rhythm early. And he's got to find that rhythm, I think, play on time early in this one.
2nd down. Murphy gets it complete to Jomo. Jordan Moore, who's been dealing with injuries the last couple of weeks, but they feel that after limiting his workload, now he is a full go.
Even not 100%, he's still one of their best players offensively. You see 2 slant throws right out of the gates for Duke. Joe, I don't know if there's another offense in the country that throws as many slant routes than this Duke offense. And this 3rd down and 4, this is slant country waiting to happen all over again.
It's good to get the ball out quickly against this talented defensive line from Miami. Here's 3rd and 4, and they do just that, as you predicted, and it's incomplete, looking for Pankel.
Well, the secondary knows about it, and they've been waiting for it. And O.J. Frederick that time at corner, the true freshman, doing a nice job anticipating a 3-step route, breaking on the ball, and knocking it loose.
Miami 5 is now wearing number 35.
Kane Reynoldsson on for his first punt of the afternoon. True freshman from Australia. Puts it outside the numbers and out of bounds.
One of the things that I've really been impressed with watching Cam Ward on film, Joe, is his ability to read coverage, but also just read defenders and react accordingly. Here against Cal, you got Restrepo in the slot running an out route. Ward's going to see the corner crash on that right away now. Cam Ward knows he's got Sam Brown running down the boundary. We talked earlier about how quickly he gets the football out, under 2 seconds to the receiver before the safety can get there. Later in the game, you got a switch seam this time by Arroyo. Ward's going to feel the corner, bite on that a little bit. So now you got Sam Brown outside working the curl route again, and good pocket mechanics. This throw gets out just around 3 seconds, and you see getting it to the receivers early when they've got room to work after the catch. That's part of what makes, I think, Cam Ward so special.
Martinez gets loose. Damian Martinez with a chunk play to start Miami's drive.
Yeah, in that time, Trey Freeman, at linebacker, has an opportunity to make this tackle, and he misses it. This is just going to be a little pull by the guard. Freeman's there, but he can't get Martinez on the ground. And again, these last 2 games, Martinez has really started coming on.
Balled out quickly, back to Restrepo. Katie.
Yeah, guys, these Miami receivers, they love playing with Cam Ward for obvious reasons, but Xavier Restrepo says he's a great communicator and listener, most importantly. He's constantly asking for feedback. Just after that touchdown, Cam came down the sideline showing the iPad to Zay Horton and Restrepo, talking through some plays and routes. It's that kind of relationship that they value most.
Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, has said he is an elite leader, and his understanding of defense, the way he can communicate it also, as well as Martinez continues to be the bull carrying the ball.
Well, this is a downhill physical rushing attack from Miami. Big offensive linemen, and they are running right at you, to the right of the center, to the left of the center. No misdirection, no mystery. With these 2 big backs, and Damian Martinez and Mark Fletcher, they just try to wear you down.
Ward after the 8-yard run by Martinez. And these are the arm angles, the ability to extend the play in the arm angles as he gets it to Horton.
Yeah, and it's like you see Patrick Mahomes do it a lot in the NFL. He just has an ability to throw from so many different arm slots and awkward body throws that somehow just doesn't really affect his accuracy. You see on that last throw, his feet weren't set, his shoulders weren't square, and he's going to his left, and he's still able to find a completion.
Second and 6, Martinez. He's met behind the line of scrimmage and brought down by Ozzie Nicholas.
Well, we talked about how it's a bit of a pick-your-poison dilemma when you're facing this Miami offense, and you've seen the last 2 games out, Louisville and Florida State have tried taking away deep shots, and Miami's been able to get it done on the ground.
Tempo before 3rd down again, and that was incomplete as he was looking for Horton.
Yeah.
3rd down and 7.
A little bit of a miscommunication that time. I think he thought Horton was going to come flying out of his break, and Horton that time was trying to settle into the zone. But you're in that no-man territory right here. 4th down, close to the 40. It looks like Mario Cristobal is going to decide to play field position.
So the punt team with Dylan Joyce will come on the field. Manny Diaz returned here to Miami. Mario Cristobal, who was hired after Manny Diaz and the university parted ways at the end of the 2021 season. As Joyce will look to pin Duke. Brown's the return man, lets it sail inside the 5, and that's where it checks up perfectly for Miami's coverage. We're just a short drive away from that magnificent campus in Coral Gables. 7-zip Canes. He was the defensive coordinator, then head coach. It was all about the turnover chain. That first one was 5.5 pounds, 10 carats of the Cuban link. A.J. Machado was the jeweler who made it. You're going to dial up AJ for your Christmas gift. Your wife and daughter getting something from AJ.
Get some carrots in that bad boy.
Here's Murphy from his own end zone, going to take a shot, and that ball was easily intercepted by Mish Powell. He was waiting for it like it was a fair catch on a punt.
Well, he was trying to take a shot down the right sideline that time, and I think Malik Murphy's eyes just brought Mish Powell, the Washington transfer, all the way over to that side of the field as well. Taking a shot down in your own end is not uncommon because you're anticipating man coverage, but that was basically like a punt. And you just can't simply lob that ball up in the air. The safety over in that area, in that half of the field, that's a turnover waiting to happen. And Joe, you just got done talking about the turnover chain. That's one going Miami's way.
Did you see Malik Murphy put his hands up to his head while the ball was still in the air as Fletcher takes the... He knew immediately, Jesse.
And now Miami has great field position. You're giving it right back to Cam Ward. Now inside your own 45-yard line. This defense facing a sudden change situation. They've got to step up big here, Joe.
Fletcher again, and it's a good run by Mark Fletcher, who, as Katie detailed, is playing with a heavy heart, mourning the death of his father, Mark Sr.
So you've seen Damian Martinez earlier, and how about the one-cut running ability of Fletcher? Just puts his foot in the ground, he finds the crease. There's no wasted movement. He's getting into that second level early, and you're seeing a lot of these white jerseys. They're moving backward here in the first quarter when trying to stop the run.
11 yards from Fletcher. Batted. As that was Vincent Anthony Jr. We mentioned that last week during practice on Thursday, Mark Fletcher was informed of the passing of his father. He said, I want to play on in that game against Florida State. Scored a touchdown, took a knee, raised his finger to the sky. And then yesterday, Mario Cristobal, as you see the Fletcher family here, and he brought the team to the services to be with Mark Jr. Second down. Fletcher keeps his balance and has a first down for the Canes.
You know, Tess, he said he's never been more proud to be a junior, to be able to carry on his father's name. He said it's truly special that he's been named what he was.
Katie, this locker room, they just love him so much. Mario Cristobal says that he's going to be a future Hurricane great and a future captain.
Restrepo. This time he's tackled just behind the line of scrimmage by Kamari Robinson. There was Malik Murphy moments ago. He knew it right away, launched that deep ball downfield. It was picked off, and now Miami is marching again. Second and 11, quick strike. First and goal, Miami. Zay Horton with the reception.
Well, you saw that time Cam Ward really take his time. He was watching the safeties rotation, and he sees this guy here. He's anticipating somebody coming back to the middle of the field. Now you're going to fake the handoff and drive the slant off the RPO. Really nice job of Cam Ward having a plan, getting the ball out early before the safety can get there on Horton to make the stop.
21 yards to Horton. High formation with Fletcher, the featured back. Fletcher looking for anything, but can't find much against that talented defensive front of Duke.
How about Cameron Bergeron? Only 190 pounds, but at the start position that time, he set a wall. And he was the one that forced Fletcher to have to go back inside. I've been real impressed watching Bergeron this year. They use his speed really creatively on blitzes, but also on third down. He can be a spy, and with his speed, they make it difficult for Cam Ward to run around.
Second and goal. Ward to the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. Cam McCormick, his 9th year of college football. Touchdown, Canes.
Cam McCormick has been making plays in the red zone all season long. This is just a hard play action sell this way. Here's McCormick. He's just going to work in the backside. Cam Ward's able to find him for the touchdown. The 9th year senior It's his third touchdown catch. We saw one against Florida early, saw one against Virginia Tech, and he gets another one here early against Duke.
8-play drive, a McCormick touchdown, and Borregales adds the extra point. He caught Miami's first touchdown of the season. That was against Florida in that rivalry game. And now, after all the injuries, the 26-year-old with his third of the year here as Miami is trying to stay undefeated.
Coverage, you cannot try to throw a go route with an inside release. Malik Murphy that time trying to find Jordan Moore. Mish Powell able to get the interception. This is one that Malik Murphy knew as soon as he threw it. He didn't see the safety, and it ended up costing him 7 points.
That led to another Cam Ward touchdown pass. He has 2 on the day. He has 26 on the year. Peyton Jones, a little bit of a hesitation, then decides to take it out and struggles to even get to the 19-yard line. Let's go to the studio to Kevin.
It's time now for our All-State check-in book. We have our first touchdown in Happy Valley. Will Howard picked off.
Great disguise by Penn State. They show cover 2, turn the man. Oh no, pick 6, Nittany Lions.
Zion Tracy to the house, 10-0 Nittany Lions. Back to you, Tess and Jesse.
Thanks, guys. Jess, Ohio State, Will Howard, the quarterback, has 1 completion on the day so far. Quinshon Junkins, of course, great running back, has 5 yards. That's the Ohio State offense early on against Penn State.
Penn State wasn't sure if their quarterback, Drew Aller, was going to play. He's already off to a fast start, and Penn State out of the gates quick.
Murphy, play action. That was denied, and a flag comes in as Frederic had coverage on Pankel.
Yeah, again, Duke trying to go to the slant that time to Pankel, and just a little bit too much fighting and contact.
Pass interference. Defense, number 29. Automatic first down.
See the tug there with Frederic's jersey, his hand trying to get that right shoulder of Pankel. He's in breaking slant routes, man. Duke throws them in so many different ways, and you could tell already. We saw Frederic with a pass breakup on the first drive on a similar route. This press coverage from Miami and their DBs right now, they're going to challenge Duke to see if they can get open.
Pankel had that huge game against SMU a week ago. There's Murphy on first down, going to take another shot, was looking for Pankel again, and once again was locked up with Frederic.
Man coverage, we talk about that. Just down the sideline, this on a fade route, and I'll tell you, Pankel has been the most consistent receiver that Duke has had. He's been able to get open the most frequently. He's struggling right now against the true freshman.
Last week he had 11 catches, 138 yards. Had the touchdown in overtime. Of course, they went for 2 in overtime. Rolling the dice, came up short. Here's second down. Star Thomas can't find anything at all as he was immediately wrapped up on Maui Noah.
Well, Miami is the best third down defense in the ACC. Opponents only converting 23%. A big reason why is the pass rush. When they get in these types of situations, Ruben Bain on one side, Tyler Barron on the other, they flex them wide, and there's a bunch of stunts and twists going on in the middle. This D-line, it's like blocking a moving target, and opposing offenses have had issues all season long.
Third and 10, 4-man rush. Murphy incomplete, looking for more.
Duke has come out in this game, Joe, trying to be aggressive and throw on early downs. They haven't gotten anything downfield yet. But Miami is really putting them under pressure with this man coverage. Duke has not been able to get open. They've set up third and long situations like that. Those are really, really difficult to convert.
Reynoldson punts away, fair catch at the 29-yard line by Ray Joseph. Hey, coming up next, right here on ABC, it is a classic. Number 2, Georgia and Florida in Jacksonville. And at 7:30, it's Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. Top 10 Texas A&M and South Carolina meet up.
Can't wait for the Florida-Georgia game. Lucky enough to play in that great rivalry. Optically, to me, Joe, it's one of the best-looking games out there. And how about Marcel Reed? What he did last week coming off the bench.
How about Mike
Connor
Elko and
Wigman.
what he did in putting him in the game?
Putting him in the game against LSU. I can't wait to see him going up against one of the better pass rushes in the country, by the way, from South Carolina.
Cam Ward, 2 touchdown passes on the day, escapes the initial pressure, and then throws it away.
It's the good and bad with Cam Ward wanting to always hold on to the football, because you do get the wow play like you saw in the first drive of the game on a touchdown pass to Restrepo, but you also take a lot of sacks. And that's one thing. This offense has given up 13 sacks in the last 4 games. Not all of that is because of the offensive line. Part of that is Cam Ward just holding on to the ball too long.
Ward has 9 completions, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter. In the last 4 games, the sacks have been given up. Second down, downfield strike just beyond Sam Brown.
I'm surprised there was no offside called on that. I think that's why Cam Ward took the shot. I think he thought he had a free play. There was some flinching up front by Duke's D-line, but no flag called, and now you got 3rd and 10. And here comes the blitz package. Defensive coordinator Jonathan Packey. This is where he loves to live. DBs, and they could come from anywhere over the field. So right now, if you're in the backfield, Damian Martinez is there and Elijah Arroyo are there. They have got to be scanning, looking around for any of these pressures to come.
Third and 10. Pressure comes off the edge. Martinez did pick it up, but it goes incomplete as he tried to get it to Sam Brown.
You're right, Joe. Good call. That time they did bring the corner off the edge, and Martinez's scan was really good. He was on point. Look at him looking out to the left right here. He's able to get to this really early, picking up Kamari Robinson. We've seen 2 throws in this game early. Cam Ward has been lights out, but a couple of in-breaking routes where him and receiver just haven't been on the same page, particularly on 3rd down.
Dylan Joyce, of course, with this great offense, you don't get a lot of opportunities to punt away. And Brown able to secure that at the 16-yard line. That was almost disastrous. Last week, SMU at Duke. This is Malik Murphy. First strike goes for a touchdown to Pankel, and then the 2-point attempt, Jesse.
It's just amazing to think. Duke won the turnover battle 6-0, and they lost the game. They scored no points off any of the turnovers, missed 3 kicks late in the game. Because of that, they decided to go for 2 in overtime, which I think was the right call, and came up short. And so you kind of wondered what Duke's mindset was going to be coming into this one. Are they going to come emotionally drained, or are they trying to make a statement against one of the best teams in the country in a big noon window? Remains to be seen.
Murphy on first down as he finds Hagans, and Hagans picks up the block and weaves his way for extra yardage out to the 37-yard line.
Really nice job by Hagans, just being strong through the catch. And Daryl Porter, number 2, he's going to drive this, again, expecting the slant throw, but he's not able to wrap him up and bring him down.
Here's Jones on the carry. Peyton Jones breaks free and is inside the 40-yard line, and some life now for this Duke offense.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Star Thomas, a running back, but Peyton Jones is a change of pace guy, a little bit smaller, but he's a little bit quicker, and he just darted into the second level.
Tempo now from Duke. Murphy. Excellent effort from Moore. And let's see. Yes, complete. Spotting him at the 8-yard line.
That was an absolute strike from Malik Murphy. You can't throw the back shoulder any better than this. What an effort by Moore.
Wow.
That left foot is down. The question is, was it down when he had possession? I think he did.
They're quick to the line to snap it. Jones straight ahead into the end zone. So after that sensational body control catch They strike right away with Peyton Jones. What a moment for the Duke offense.
What a way to respond, Joe. 4 plays, boom, 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 boom. You get Higgins on the slant, you get Peyton Jones up the middle, you get the throw down the boundary to Moore, and then Jones pays it off for a touchdown. That's how you wake your offense up, and that's how you respond.
Jordan Moore with the incredible catch on the sideline to get his foot down. They quickly got to the line, snapped it, scored the touchdown as Todd Polino adds the extra point. That was exactly what Duke needed.
Still trying to get over this throw and catch on the back shoulder to Moore here. Nice job by Murphy. You saw the interception earlier. He kind of stared it down, lobbed it. This time he holds the safety in the middle of the field, and he puts that where only his player can make the catch. There is no defense for a perfect throw, and that's really good coverage by Jadis Richard. He even had a tug on his jersey, you see. That could easily could have been called pass interference, and they run right up to the line of scrimmage before anybody can even take a look at it and review. And it's Peyton Jones in for a touchdown. Joe, that's really big for Duke, too, because we've seen in recent weeks in games against UNC, Georgia Tech, SMU, and in this one, getting down by double digits, they have to be able to start fast, especially when playing on the road. So Manny Diaz has to love the way his offense was just able to respond there.
And I would reference the conversation that you started the drive with, and that was coming off of what happened against SMU. How do you respond? I mean, it is as rare as could be that you're +6 on turnover margin and you don't score a single point off the turnovers. That was a sucker punch kind of loss. Chris Johnson out to the 21. Katie.
Well, guys, Jordan Moore is the healthiest he's been since injuring his shoulder week 4 at Middle Tennessee State. He's played in a limited role since, catching just 10 passes in the last 4 games. OC Jonathan Brewer said Moore, he's their go-to guy out wide. He wins 50-50 balls. Late game situations have to have it. He's the guy, their leader and workhorse on offense, so they are thrilled to have him as healthy as he's been this season right now.
Yeah, great point, Kate. He's been on a bit of a pitch count. Played only 12 snaps against Florida State, played 50 against SMU, and they need him every single snap on offense if they're going to upset Miami.
Miami had complete control, now back to a touchdown margin, and the Duke defense firing off defensively. That was Bergeron.
The thing about this defense is they're very, very disciplined. Guys get lined up, they stay in their gaps. You don't see Duke miss a lot of tackles. You don't see a lot of coverage busts, so they don't give up a ton of big plays. That's why they're only allowing 4.5 yards per play, best in the ACC. But the run defense, it has to get better early in this game.
Ward on 2nd and 10. A quick strike. And as he goes back to Zay Horton.
Man, the big body throws. Cam Ward trusts number 2 in tight windows because he's able to fit that 6'4" frame between defenders and the football, and he makes those contested catches like what you saw right there. We've seen completions like that out in the field. You might see another one here on 3rd down, asking for an underneath big body throw. It's nice to have receivers with big targets that can make those types of plays.
Third and 3. Ward does it again. Circles around, but does he have an option? He wants all of it downfield, but way out of bounds as Jacoby George was streaking way downfield.
It's that escapability that, again, I just don't think Miami has had at the quarterback position for years and years and years. It's just when things aren't there and it's not open, you can make Kendi Charles miss, and then you can make Vincent Anthony miss, and you're buying time, and receivers are scrambling around, and you're finding a way to get rid of it. And again, we've seen more often than not, those end up becoming completions and touchdowns this year. That's the crazy part.
The touchdown that he threw off a similar play was 8 seconds to the time of the throw. That was 11 seconds. Brown calls for the fair catch, and this time secures it at the 23-yard line. Our Sonic drive-in recap is Duke's last drive.
Joe, sometimes it just takes one play to get it going, and it was the slant right here to Hagans. Makes the guy miss. They get right up back to the line of scrimmage. You turn around, you hand it off to Peyton Jones. He rips one off. Nice job blocking up front. And now all of a sudden you decide, hey, we're crossing the 50. Let's take a shot. Let's freeze the safety in the middle of the field. Let's go to our team's leading receiver from a year ago and more, making a back shoulder stab. And we give it back to Jones. 4 plays, and just like that, we're back in a one-possession game.
A little bit of a scuffle at the end of that punt.
There are fouls by each team after the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Miami, number 31. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Duke, number 1. That is each player's first of the game. The penalties cancel. First down, Duke.
But I think you're seeing, we've talked about it, Joe, I think Duke coming in here with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, too, after losing the way they did against SMU. They know they should be a ranked team. They know they're very good. They should have 7 wins. This is a team that I know outside of the ACC, maybe not a lot of people really watching or talking about, but they've very quietly been putting a very special season together, and I think they understood the opportunity here today in front of this audience against this team to make a point and make an example out of Miami.
And Jess, I can't stress it enough. It is hard to lose a football game when you're +6 on turnovers, although not even score off of
I think in the last century, Joe, teams that were -6 in turnover were 1 in 134.
Of course.
Honestly.
I mean, really, almost how can it be any other way? And yet, it went against them last week in overtime. Incomplete ankle again.
So if you're Duke now on offense, you're trying to kind of hold on to whatever you just bottled up on that last drive. And there was a nice little mix of throwing and running. It's going to be important for them that they can establish the run game a little bit, win on 1st and 2nd down to make the 3rd downs manageable and try and slow down this pass rush up front for Miami.
They had 5 yards on their first 3 drives and then hit 83 yards with 3 plays over 20 yards on the last drive. Star Thomas taken down at the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd down from there. That was Jadis Richard with the tackle.
Okay, now you gotta hold up front, and Duke's got a new face playing right guard in this one, Micah Sahakian. Transfer from Cornell, filling in for Justin Pickett, who's out with an injury. And so the pass pro on the right side, that's where it's been the most shaky early this season. And now with a new face at right guard, you got to wonder if that's a place that maybe Miami's going to try and take advantage of.
Final seconds of this first quarter. And as Duke was able to bounce back moments ago with the 83-yard touchdown drive. Now, speaking of Sahakian, that new offensive lineman, we'll tell you about him when we come back. ESPN College Football, presented by Tums Gummy Bites, 14-7 Canes. We'll return after this message and a word from our...
I'm on the sidelines with Manny Diaz. Offense is coming off of a great drive. What do you need to do to hit on this 3rd and 8?
Well, yeah, we got to protect. First of all, we made the one mistake in the first quarter. We turned the ball over, which you can't do against an offense like this. But back-to-back 3 and outs by the defense have gotten us back into it.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Manny Diaz, the former Miami head coach, who this week has talked about that he's at peace, that he's moved on. He's got himself a good football team, especially the defense, in his first year at Duke. Started the 2nd quarter, his team facing a 3rd and 8. Murphy gets it up quickly, and it's a 1st down to Hagans.
Well, you guys were mentioning that Micah Sahakian is making his FBS debut. So pre-game, he was taking it all in, sitting up in the stands for about 20 minutes by himself. Manny Diaz said this team absolutely loves him, and he looks just like John Belushi from Animal House. Check out his headshot, guys. I mean, that's some A-plus content.
Wormer, he's a dead man.
Look,
Niedermeyer!
that is unbelievable. Straight up Faber College with a 0.0 GPA. The Cornell transfer, whose own story is remarkable to get to this point, as Star Thomas tries to bounce the play. This is a guy we mentioned tore his ACL at the end of last year, so he can play in 4 games and still have redshirt eligibility as the flag comes in. And pre-game, we were on the lookout for Micah Sahakian.
Holding. Offense, number 15, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Who they say is the doppelganger to John Bluto Blatarski from Animal House. And this guy was out there beyond anybody before anybody was out there, Jess.
Yeah, he was taking it all in. Here he is right here. He's just taking in the scene. Big game. We're not in Cornell anymore. Knowing he has a big opportunity, but also a very tough challenge. Playing on the inside, going up against guys like Simeon Barrow and Akeem Mesidor, man, they'll keep you up at night. He's ready for it, though.
10-yard penalty makes it 1st and 20. They try to come back for the receiver screen, Pankel, but there is not much there as he just has to fight his way ahead into the tackle.
It's a Miami defense, Joe, that does such a good job running sideline to sideline. They're very, very fast flow. And it's not just DBs and linebackers. These D linemen also, they'll turn around, sprint back, and get to the football and play with great effort. Duke has got to get out of this here. They don't have to get all of it back on the 2nd and long, but they've got to put themselves in a manageable situation to convert.
2nd and 17. Murphy with time, going to take a deep shot again, and he's able to connect with Peyton Jones. Jones, who had the touchdown run earlier with a big explosive downfield.
Well, Peyton Jones that time lines up outside at wide receiver in the slot. He's a running back, and he's working one-on-one against Francisco Mauinoa, the linebacker. Mauinoa normally is really good in coverage, but what a catch by the running back.
And now Jones looking to wiggle his way inside the 30. Yeah, Jones, who goes 5'10", 190 pounds, downfield against the 6'3", 230-pound linebacker.
And I love the play call, too, by offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer, because you've been seeing man coverage over and over and over again in this game. You're trying to throw slants. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's get a go route out of the slot to our running back, something they have not shown this year yet on film. A little wrinkle, and it comes up big for Duke.
40-yard reception now has Duke in position. Star Thomas unable to find a seam, just 2 yards there. So Malik Murphy, over 100 yards, had that one interception. He knew the moment he released it coming off that big game last week against SMU.
And Joe, I just love the way he settled down. And oftentimes when you evaluate quarterbacks, how do they handle mistakes? He came right back. We saw a strike on a back shoulder throw in the 1st quarter to Jordan Moore, and now an absolute dart on that go route to Peyton Jones. He's only 5'10", and you know how it is throwing to running backs, yes. Joe. You got to put it on them. They're not going to make awkward body catches. Malik Murphy's looked really good here, and a big one on 3rd and 5 coming up.
And a timeout is going to be used by Duke. They're facing a 3rd and 5 as Manny Diaz and this offense will talk things over when we return to Hard Rock Stadium. Miami's the best scoring offense in the country. They came out looking like it as Xavier Restrepo with the focus to score the 1st touchdown of the day. And then Cam McCormick, his 9th year of college football, is Cam Ward's 2nd touchdown. It was 14-zip, but then big plays for Duke resulted in this, the opportunity for Peyton Jones with the touchdown run. And now a big 3rd and 5, Jesse, for Duke.
You're going to get man coverage here. We've been seeing Slant City all early in this game. Jordan Moore ISO at the bottom of your screen.
3rd and 5 as Murphy gets to the line to check. He started the day 1 of 6 passing. Since then, Malik Murphy's 5 of 6. Can he convert here? Murphy goes underneath, and Higgins is going to have it and more, like a touchdown. Malik Murphy. Samir Higgins, and Duke's an extra point away from all of a sudden tying this thing.
Well, Duke knew they had man coverage, and they ran a man beater, a little whip route out of the slot from Higgins. Daryl Porter, who was covering him, he got picked. So it ended up being an explosive play. The big completion to Jones helped set this up. And on a critical 3rd down, man, Malik Murphy right now has found his rhythm.
Well, Todd Polino didn't have the easiest week last week. Missed an extra point, then makes this extra point here. And we are tied at 14 all.
Pankel's in the slot. He's going to work this route backside. This receiver's coming up, and he's going to wall off Porter, who gets lost in behind in a trail, and he can't keep up. It's a really nice design. It's legal, anticipating the coverage, and dialing up a beater for that coverage. Nice job by Jonathan Brewer, the offensive coordinator, Easy pitch and catch, and Hagen's able to do the rest. There's just so much more available in the playbook when you keep the third downs manageable. You can make the defense so much more predictable. In that type of situation, that was the perfect play call against the exact perfect defense.
And now this pesky, fiery, confident Duke team who was coming off the heartbreak of a week ago of playing so well, getting 6 turnovers, and yet losing a game in overtime. They have roared back here against Miami. Chris Johnson Jr. on the return. And special teams coverage able to wrap him up. Manny Diaz, the 50-year-old head coach at Duke, his return to Miami. He was asked plenty of it this week. He gave a quote from the classic literature that no man crosses the same river twice, and just he stresses that he's at peace. Listen, a lot of people down here that he still has a lot of respect for, but he said it is no different to him than playing SMU last year.
I mean, listen, he's saying all the right things. You got to believe, from a human standpoint, this is personal for him.
Still comes down here a good bit. He's got a place down in the Keys. Damien Martinez able to spin his way and muscle ahead for 10.5 yards. Mario Cristobal, of course, his 3rd season leading his alma mater. And there is the side-by-side. They're up to number 5 in the country right now. Diaz had early success when he was the Canes head coach. It was a 10-yard run by Martinez. They'll keep it on the ground again with him, patiently looking for something. Goes ahead for 3.
Well, he's got to like how his defense is playing right now, and they've forced 2 3-and-outs consecutively in their last 2 drives. You heard him telling that to Katie earlier, which never happens to Miami. In fact, Miami offensively, only 3.3% of their offensive drives end in a 3-and-out. That's the lowest percentage in the country. They've had now 2 in a row. So you're seeing this Duke defense starting to come alive. And on the flip side, their offense is waking up as well. It really just feels like a lot of the momentum on Duke's side right now.
2nd and 7. Fletcher, look at this hole for Mark Fletcher past midfield.
Really nice job by Inez Cooper at right guard, and CeCe Maui Noah working into the 2nd level. Cooper at 350 pounds gets the push, and that creates this massive hole for Fletcher. Forget one cut, that's just no cut, north.
Ball quickly out to Restrepo. That was awkwardly thrown as he couldn't come up with it. He's 4 receptions away, Jesse, from tying the all-time mark in program history.
It's amazing. You know, Katie was reporting on this earlier, just how much chemistry Restrepo and Cam Ward have together and how much they work together in the offseason throughout the week in practice. And the crazy part, Joe, is that it's only their first year together playing in the same offense, but it's like, you know, 2 people that can finish each other's sentences. They always just seem to be on the same page.
And it's the coaching staff on the other sideline who recruited him. Second and 10. Ward gonna get it to Martinez. Martinez was met right away. Chandler Rivers among those, with Terry Moore able to collapse on him.
It's incredible when you take a look at what Restrepo has done, who he's passed on the all-time charts. I mean, names like Michael Irvin and Reggie Wayne, all the great Miami receivers that have been here, he has always shown up, especially this year. And here's a situation, Joe, on 3rd and 9. You'd like to go to your best route runner, the guy who's the most sudden in and out of his breaks, and that's been Xavier Restrepo this time up here in the slot.
They started the game 2 for 2 on 3rd down. Miami's 0 for 3 since. They came in leading the nation on 3rd down conversion at 60%. Ward's going to run it himself on 3rd down and get it.
That is a great audible by Cam Ward, because he saw man coverage in pre-snap, knowing that was the perfect defense to dial up the quarterback draw. You see him right there. He's not getting the answer to the test from the sidelines. He's doing that himself. This is man coverage. They're going to drop guys out. I'm going to have a lane to run through. Really nice job taking command and taking charge.
That's like Shannon Dawson telling us his understanding of defense is elite for a college player. Play action. Ward on first down. Keeping it alive and then checking down to Martinez. And Damien Martinez just floating ahead for easy yardage as he has it down near the 20-yard line.
You know, going back and talking about Cam Ward, Joe, and his command at the line of scrimmage, you'll see him constantly changing protections and making checks in the run game and changing the routes. And the amazing thing, again, he's only been in this offense not even a year.
That's right.
And he hasn't just learned Shannon Dawson's offense, but he's taken ownership of it. And I think that goes into the NFL evaluation for him, Joe. You got to know if you're a GM or a head coach at the next level, he's going to pick up your offense quickly, and he's going to take charge.
After the 17 yards to Martinez, here's first down. Quick strike, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Horton. Chandler Rivers is a really good corner.
He really,
You've seen that already.
He really is. And he's not the biggest corner in the country at 5'10", 180 pounds, but man coverage is really, really good. And you see, there was no tug. He might have tried a couple times. He didn't get anything. But this is a guy that's constantly peeking to try to jump underneath routes, and he's going up against a 6'4" receiver, a guy who's given up 6 inches in height to, and it does not matter. He is a very competitive and physical corner.
Ward on second down, incomplete again, going back to Horton against Rivers, and a flag is down this time at the 4-yard line.
Well, that time he found the jersey. He tried the previous play. That was the exact same RPO slant. That time, Rivers is guilty.
Interference. Defense, number 0, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I think Cam Ward's thinking to himself, there's no way I'm not throwing to my 6'4" receiver against a much smaller corner like that. That time, too much grabbing. That's an easy call to make.
First and goal, Miami. The Heisman hopeful fans look on as their Heisman contending quarterback looks to give the Canes the lead again. As Fletcher is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and it was Ozzie Nicholas again in on the tackle, as well as Johnson.
The amazing thing is when you watch Cam Ward, he talks a lot of trash to the defense. So look at him looking at the defense. He's like, come on, you want to blitz? Bring it. He's daring them to do it. He's just different, man. He really is an alpha out there on the field, and he's having a lot of fun. He's not afraid to let the defense know it.
Guy was grossly under-recruited. Had a couple seasons at Incarnate Ward, went out west, had success at Washington State, and now leading this undefeated top 5 Miami team. Ball came out as Cam had to just dive ahead and jump on it. So it'll be 3rd and goal as they're backed up to the 9-yard.
Miami is super lucky on that. Zach Carpenter was shotgun snapping it. It's almost like he thought Cam Ward was under center. The ball hit the center right in the butt. Cam Ward was there to jump on top of it. Very lucky Johnny on the spot. There was a little bit of penetration you see from Duke. They easily could have come up with a big turnover. And again, we've talked about this defense thriving on that. 19 this season, the most of any Power 4 defense. A lot of those takeaways have come in this area of the field.
Big opportunity for the Duke defense. 3rd and goal, Miami. Ward under pressure, and Ward is going to be taken down. Couldn't escape that time. Wesley Williams was the first to get to him.
And Wesley Williams did a great job fighting through a double team. He's working against Markel Bell outside here, and he's working against Damien Martinez, but he's still able to get in and be disruptive. Wesley Williams is a guy that plays with really good leverage, good balance. He's got great hands, can fight off blocks, and that was an outstanding individual effort to get to Ward.
One of the most talented kickers in the country on for the short attempt now to give Miami the lead. Borogalis, as he drives it right through. And that Miami drive stalled out once they got inside the 10. 17.
Cam Ward has been lighting it up in this game early against Duke. Nice job working through his progressions, throwing the ball. We also talked about how quickly he's able to get it out, like a shortstop. working a double play, that time spitting it out to Restrepo, and good decision making on the RPO game. It's not just throwing it downfield, but in the run pass checks, and finally, when he's off schedule, magical things happen. You've seen it over and over and over again this year. This is on the opening drive, a play that took 8 seconds to throw. Off the tip, Restrepo able to come up with a touchdown. Cam Ward continues his Heisman push here in the first half against Duke.
As Cam Ward, our Built for Success, presented by Ram Trucks, 17-14. Miami trying to work their way to 9-0. That would be their best start since 2017, trying to stay the course for the ACC championship, the college football playoff. Cam Ward already 2 touchdown passes today. Our Nissan Heisman watch shapes up this way.
Yeah, I really think, Joe, with these 4 players, it really is neck and neck. And when you're talking about Cam Ward, obviously he has the numbers. My biggest question up to this point in the year, where is the Heisman moment for him? You know, Miami, they haven't played any ranked opponents. He's done some really special things late in games against Cal and against Virginia Tech. That Heisman moment, Joe, it may not come until the ACC championship game. You know the numbers are going to be there, but I know that's one thing, the moments, that a lot of Heisman voters look for too.
But we've seen in recent years, Jess, that late surge. And if you do get 2 top 10 teams with Miami and Clemson playing for the number 2 or 3 playoff seed, and he has a magical performance, that may do it. That could launch it right at the end, but it is a good group vying for as the flag comes down.
Holding. Defense, number 98. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
The freshman Justin Scott.
Lance Guidry looks confused because it looked to me on that play like Brian Parker, the right tackle, actually could have been called for holding himself, but going to go against Miami. And now for Duke, you know, they've got momentum and they've had some home runs running the football, and they've found some explosive plays throwing it as well. Malik Murphy has really gotten into a nice rhythm. It would be huge for Duke to score points here at the end of the half, knowing they're going to get the ball first here in the second half.
Murphy's looked much better as this first half has gone along. 5 of Duke's last 7 passes have gone for over 20 yards. He was rough to get this day going. Miami jumped out 14-zip. Murphy was just 1 of 6 passing. First down. Here's Jones on the run as he was upended that time by Patterson.
Bit of Jekyll and Hyde so far offensively for Duke. You see it early, not so good, but all of a sudden now that quick 4-play burst where they scored a touchdown, that just seemed to wake them up. And they've been virtually unstoppable since, going up against statistically what's been the best defense in the ACC.
Jesse, that amazing catch by Jordan Moore on the sidelines, that really gave them momentum. That was the spark, put them in position. All of a sudden they've been hot since. Here's 2nd and 6. Murphy spinning ahead for the line to gain was Eli Pankel.
Okay, they keep throwing slant routes. At some point, they've got to throw a slant and go, right? I mean, they've been doing this all season long, throwing these in-breaking quick routes, but you've never seen on film a receiver faking the slant and then turning it upfield. You got to think at some point Duke's going to dial that up.
Tim Hedgepath leads this cruise. The flag came in late.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 99, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's Ahmad Moat, the defensive tackle. And Duke's going to get the ball to start the second half, so this is a swing opportunity here. If they're already past midfield, they can score before halftime.
Yeah,
Jonathan Brewer,
yeah, and he's been doing a nice job too. He's kind of let the game come to him. He's watching what Miami's doing, especially in the secondary from a coverage standpoint, and he's starting to call man beaters accordingly. You get man coverage again right now.
Murphy on first down. Incomplete, looking for Hagans. Flags rain in. Duke's going to be in position.
So he saw man coverage and he dialed up the wheel route from the slot. It's the perfect call. Another good one by Jonathan Brewer.
Defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
My old head coach in the New York Giants told me once, once, sometimes the worst thing on a deep ball, it's always to overthrow it because you don't give your guy a chance. Underthrowing deep passes isn't the worst scenario because if your receiver has to come back and fight through coverage, oftentimes you'll get the pass interference flag. That's exactly what happened there. Not a perfect throw from Malik Murphy. If that had been over the top, that would have been a touchdown, but still, Duke comes up with an explosive one, and here they are, Joe, knocking on the door, the 25-yard line.
Jets, third Miami penalty this drive. 40 yards Duke has gotten because of it. Jones bounces it. Made a man miss and is inside the 20.
You know, and penalties have been a problem for Miami. We talk about the statistics offensively and defensively and how off the charts they are, but they get a lot of close games too, and one of the reasons why is penalties. 3 penalties on the drive. You talked about it, Joe. They're the second most penalized team in the conference when you're looking at penalty yards per game. Discipline has not always been good, and a lot of times, Joe, those penalties have come on the back end in the form of PI.
2nd and 4. Murphy to the end zone. Incomplete. He was trying to find Quayshawn Brown. Darrell Porter had covered.
Miami bracketed the slot receiver. They had the perfect coverage on that time against Quayshawn Brown. He's running a smash route, and Miami had 2 defenders that time on him. Nice job there by Porter, knocking that thing away. I feel like big body slant time to you, Joe.
It does.
Yeah.
Third and 5 and less. It's been auto for them. Ankles the 6'3" receiver. They go with the screen. Hagans. And it is first down Duke. Under 3 minutes to go in this first half. A chance to tie or take the lead and then receive the second half kickoff.
You got to give Jake Taylor at tight end a lot of credit because right at the point he had to get a block that was going to free open Hagans, and he takes a bomb from Maui Noah. And
I mean, Maui Noah came in with that right hand. It was like a Superman.
I'm surprised that wasn't targeting, honestly, because he was launching and it looked like forcible contact made to the head or neck area of Hagans that time.
Let's bring in Bill Lamonier, our rules expert. Billy, what do you see here with Kiko Maui Noah coming in at the end?
That was a striking blow for a personal foul. So there should have been a flag on that. But targeting, no.
2-minute timeout. Duke on the go, trailing by only 3. Big moment for Duke as they have been driving the ball. Miami with penalties that have been costly, and now just a 3-point lead with Duke having the ball at the Miami 13-yard line coming off the 2-minute timeout. They go back to Brown, and Brown tries to turn the corner and just gets inside the 10-yard line before he is tracked down.
Go back and look at Hagans' hit again. He got up a bit injured as well. Now, he's not a defensive player, so this can't be targeting once he has the ball. Now, he gets punched in the face by Maui Noah. I'm sure he was just trying to knock the ball loose. You know, that could have been a flagrant call, but you see the knee-to-knee contact that Hagans has with Zaquan Patterson right there. He got up limping gingerly a little bit, and it's a guy Duke needs on the field, Joe. He's made some big plays in this first half.
Yeah, just they've targeted him 6 times. Had 4 catches for 63 yards and the touchdown. Had the 27-yard thrilling touchdown earlier. 2nd and 4. Murphy fakes left, goes back to Jones, and Duke takes the lead. Peyton Jones. And all of a sudden, undefeated, top 5 Miami has Duke roaring back.
The pump fake freezes Maui Noah for just a split second, and that's what allows Jones to get out in the flat with the blocker out in front. We've talked about offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer having really good play calls against all this man coverage from Miami, and that time he dialed up another one. And you've seen Jones make plays running the ball. In the second quarter, Joe, he's making big-time plays catching it.
Polino adds the extra point. Peyton Jones had the touchdown run. Now the touchdown catch. And Duke comes alive. Upset-seeking Blue Devils here in South Florida. What his Duke team is doing, a 21-17 lead. That's bucking a whole lot of history in terms of against a top 5 opponent in Duke football history. 0-21 since 1960. Never won on the road against a top 5, and here they are with a 21-17 lead just before halftime against the undefeated Canes. Chris Johnson Jr., speedy return man for the Canes, is tripped up. Let's go to Kevin Negandhi in the studio.
Test Capital One halftime report minutes away with Booger McFarland here. We're going to check in on that top 4 showdown in Happy Valley. Ohio State down by 10, now up by 4. Highlights coming your way. We had 8 unbeatens playing today, entering the day specifically. Yeah. Army in some trouble, so is Miami. What's working for Duke?
Well, the Duke defense has been doing an outstanding job of putting pressure on Cam Ward. They pressured him on 40% of his dropbacks. And on the offensive side of the football, where has this Malik Murphy been?
Yeah.
He's playing outstanding so far.
All right, highlights coming your way. We'll see you, Tess, at the half.
Look forward to that. Yeah, Murphy, especially down the stretch of his first half, to Boog's point, played really well. But now it is one of the Heisman leaders with 1:42 to work here as Cam Ward gives it to Damian Martinez, who spins ahead.
They've got a lot of time if you're Miami, right? About 1:30 seconds left, all 3 timeouts. And Duke, you expect right now to play 2 high safeties. They're not going to try to give up any big shots. They're going to try and force Miami to drive the field.
2nd and 4. Here's Ward. And that is well beyond Zay Horton to be 3rd down.
Well, with the 2 high safety look, it's really hard to fit that football into that small window. It's a smart play call by Jonathan Packey, the defensive coordinator for Duke. You just let everybody play zone coverage, everyone's eyes on Cam Ward, and rally to the football and make tackles in the field of play.
So Terry Moore, safety. Sean Stone, he's at rover position. This very talented Duke defense looking for a stop here before half.
Timeout. Miami.
And a timeout is going to be used by Miami. Well, the last 3 drives for Duke, they had that outstanding catch by Jordan Moore to set up things and start with the run with Jones.
Yeah, Peyton Jones got set up by that. They've had some really nice balance. Also, really good play calls against man coverage. That time, Haggins on the return route, scoring after the catch. Little pump fake, freezing Maui Noah at middle linebacker allows Jones to get out into the flat. You got to wonder in the second half for Miami defensively, if you're Lance Guidry, do you start to mix your coverages up a little bit and maybe start going more zone? Because it seems like Duke has a beat on you with all this different man coverage that they're seeing.
Jess, how about the first 3 drives? Duke goes punt, throws that awful interception from their own end zone, punt. And then what you just showed us, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown for Manny Diaz's team. 3rd and 4 off the timeout for the Canes. Ward, quick strike. Ball came out, so they're going to say it's incomplete, as Zay Horton never put it away.
Again, look who made the play.
Chandler Rivers.
It's Chandler Rivers, only 5'10", 180. He's been one-on-one on an island against the biggest receiver on the field, and time again, he's coming up and just being competitive and forcing the incompletion, Joe, which stops the clock. Duke's now going to get the ball back with some time, and they've got 2 timeouts themselves to work with to try to steal some more points before we go into the tunnel.
And a ton of confidence that you have seen bubbling up. 3 3-and-outs for Miami in their last 4 drives as Dylan Joyce is back out to punt again. And it's going to check up and settle in around the 25-yard line. Meanwhile, of course, a busy day here on ABC. The world's largest adult beverage outdoor get-together.
Yeah, that's not apple juice they're sipping.
No,
I promise you.
SEC on ABC will bring you one of the great traditional rivalries of the game, in Florida against Georgia is coming up. Jess, you have obviously such a close tie to that game. Great memories.
And it really is, optically, it's so cool, Joe, because you're in the stadium and both teams get to wear their home jerseys, and then half the stadium's red and black and half the stadium is orange and blue right down the line. It really does look and feel special.
They're going to be renovating that stadium, so the next couple of years there's going to be some movement.
Yeah, going to Atlanta,
series.
I saw, going to Tampa Bay one year. Okay.
Star Thomas on first down as he makes his way to the 30-yard line. Flag comes down. Remember, 2 timeouts remain for you.
Holding. Offense number 15. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
A penalty on Jake Taylor at tight end. Right away, Lance Guidry is switching up. He's not playing man coverage anymore on this drive, which is not uncommon in 2-minute situations. A little bit more zone coverage, an extra safety back deep, but I think that's maybe a mentality he might want to carry over here into the second half to stop giving up these deep throws. This secondary's been beat a couple times over their heads and after the catch.
So after the penalty, it's 1st and 20 from the 15-yard line. Thomas can't find much at all there.
And I wonder here at this point, I was going to say, is Miami going to start using their timeouts to see if
you would consider it, right?
Yeah, when you have
absolutely
Cam Ward at quarterback, why not?
Yeah, and they're going to use one here. So because it's 2nd down, they'll get another one. Yeah, I think it was interesting what you brought up very early on, especially considering, Jess, that this game could have gone sideways when Miami, a top 5 team in the country, they go up 14-zip. And you consider Duke really a sucker punch of a result.
Totally.
You're +6 in turnovers last week. You don't get any points off those turnovers, and you lose in overtime on a failed 2-point conversion. There's one of 2 ways you're going to react. You can see the way Duke has reacted here.
Yeah, you're learning a lot about Duke in this first half of football, period. And oftentimes you learn about your players and your team when you have to face adversity and you have to be able to turn the page. And just how much left did this team have emotionally in the tank coming in here? In this second half, they have been playing with their hair on fire, and they're really, again, making a statement against one of the best teams in the country.
So Miami uses the timeout defensively, looking to see if they can get a stop here, a 2nd and 18, and force a 3rd and long. Mario Cristobal, his 3rd season, he has been heavily into the talent acquisition and development game, and you are seeing the results with an undefeated top 5 team, but getting a real test here. Star Thomas met at the line of scrimmage. Miami, remember that 1 timeout remains. And they will use it here with 51 seconds. We keep referencing what Jomo did, the star wide receiver for Duke. When they were trailing by 2 touchdowns, he came up with this.
And what makes this really cool is that he's not 100%. He's playing injured still, and on a perfect back shoulder throw from Malik Murphy against great coverage by Jadis Richard, Moore was able to step up and make a big play that sparked the offense, really galvanized his team, and it's been a different game ever since that play.
Kevin and Booger are coming up at halftime. They'll get you up to speed on everything going on with Ohio State and Penn State. We've had a thriller here in South Florida with undefeated Miami trailing against a Duke team that found a way to come back here in this first half with 3 straight touchdown possessions, 21-17. Now a 3rd and 18. Thomas. And so he'll make it out to the 25-yard line.
I like the idea there too, Joe, honestly. You've got the lead here at the end of the half. With Miami's pass rush, you don't want to risk holding on to the football and getting hit in the back of the head. There's a fumble, something crazy happens. Just ask Louisville about that. I mean, you can bleed this clock all the way down till there's about 1 second of difference between the play clock and the game clock. So from a strategy standpoint, I think for Manny Diaz, that was really, really smart.
It was. And then you think about how valuable timeouts can be, because if Miami had 1 more left, there you go. Not bad field position. Just under a minute to play with one of the best quarterbacks in all of football.
And one of the best kickers, too.
That's right.
Borregales, who can kick 50-yarders. So good idea there by Manny Diaz and his coaching staff.
Manny Diaz, who we told you, he has been asked so much this week about his return to South Florida. His father, the former mayor here, he was the head coach of the Canes, was a well-respected defensive coordinator, and then obviously They parted ways. He went up to Penn State, was a Broyles semifinalist before landing the Duke head job. He said, I am at peace. A lot of friends here, a lot of people he respects both in this program in South Florida, but he's at peace with where his life and career is. Should be putting a second on this clock here based on the differential that we were looking at between game clock and play clock. They're going to put 2 seconds.
Okay, so if you're Maalik Murphy and you're just going to take a knee, you can't take it right away. Don't just get the snap and go down. I mean,
right.
You've got to back up a little
turnover.
bit. You have to understand, like, there are 2 seconds. There's not 1 second.
That's a great point, because most guys have victory formation. They're going down right away, but he can't do that, or else Miami would take the ball there. Whoa, he almost fumbled the ball. But he did run off those 2 seconds, as you said, that he had to do. And what an interesting half as Miami came out very much looking the part before Maalik Murphy and Duke regained themselves and took the lead.
It's a little complimentary football, too, by Duke, right? Defense came up with some 3-and-outs, got the ball back to the offense, and the rest is history.
Here's Katie with Coach.
Thanks, Tess. Mario, what allowed Duke's offense to find its rhythm there, especially in the second quarter?
They did. They're beating us in man coverage. They made a lot of nice plays, found some matchups, and completed on some big passes.
And then offensively, after a couple of 3-and-outs, what do you need to see from Cam and that group in the second half?
Well, the first thing is we got to convert the ones that are there for us. We dropped the ball in a critical situation. Then we weren't on the same page, another one versus zone coverage. So we got to get back on track there.
Thank you.
Cam Ward, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Maalik Murphy, 2 touchdowns of his own in that first half quarter, and now a 21-17 lead over undefeated number 5 in the country, Miami.
Yeah.
And there is the second quarter that tells the story.
Really been a tale of 2 quarters. You're right, Joe. Duke was able to get things going on 3rd down, staying on the field. Maalik Murphy has caught fire throwing it. They've had good balance. And then defensively, not giving up explosive plays and forcing 3-and-outs, something that never happens to Miami.
Never. Number 1 offense in the country is Miami, but they are trailing against this upstart Duke team. We'll get the ball to start this second half. Maalik Murphy, the starting quarterback, came on.
And he found a rhythm after the first couple of drives. When his back foot hits, the ball comes out here on the slot slant, frees the safety in the middle of the field, get the back shoulder down to Moore. That was a huge play and a momentum-changing play. Let's freeze the safety again. This time man coverage. We got a running back, Peyton Jones, on the seam. And right here, man coverage, 3rd down. You get the return whip route. Maalik Murphy is a bit of a streaky quarterback. He had some bad misses early, had an awful interception down near his own end zone on their second drive. But since then, playing in rhythm, having a plan, being really good in pre-snap, he's been playing with a lot of conviction.
That was something that Jordan Moore said to us this week. We'll talk about that in a moment. Here's first down to start the second half for Murphy. And Katie moments ago with Coach Diaz.
Manny, after going down 14-0, what did you think of the urgency and response you got from your team?
Yeah, really proud of the defense. 3-and-outs against a team that doesn't go 3-and-out. We've taken away the explosive plays, which they thrive on, and then we found a way to move the football in offense. A lot of guys making big-time plays, but we're only halfway there, right? So the whole other half to play, and our mindset is 0-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There is a guy who has made a big play. Jordan Moore, the wide receiver, who said of Maalik Murphy, he says he's confidence poised, level-headed, very confident in his ability, and we're seeing that composure here in this game as they connect on the slant. It was Murphy to Jomo.
And a very accurate throw, putting the slant right on the face mask of Moore. He had no choice but to catch this. And you know these slants are going to get contested in tight coverage, but again, no defense for a perfect throw.
11 yards, first down Duke. Thomas struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage where he is tackled immediately.
And you're still seeing a lot of man coverage here early in this drive. We talked about that before halftime, Joe. Was Lance Guidry, the D coordinator for Miami, going to change up some of these looks on the back end? Because they were getting burned a few times, but they're staying aggressive. They're staying uptight, close to the line of scrimmage, trying to challenge Duke's receivers, trying to get Maalik Murphy off rhythm.
Murphy gets it in stride. They are past midfield as he connects with Higgins.
Well, that time on the RPO, it's the play fake that freezes Bassane at linebacker. It also freezes their nickel outside, Richard. And with access, that was an easy pitch and catch.
Quick to the line. Star Thomas trying to bounce it, but he is pursued down the line. Maui Noah cleaned it up with the tackle.
I like Star Thomas, and I've enjoyed watching him on film. He's a physical runner, and he's the type of guy that gets better as the game goes on. He had a quiet first half, but people bounce off of him a lot when they try to tackle him. And here with the lead in the second half, you know Duke and offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer would love to be able to just turn around, hand the football off, and move the sticks.
Second and 11. Murphy launches it downfield. And coming up with the catch was Hagans.
There's another man situation in the slot. Now, it's not press man, but the DB is playing way off. And that time it's Jadis Richard again. And you've seen a back shoulder throw in the first quarter. You saw another one right there.
34 yards. As Jones goes straight ahead for a couple. What a good-looking opening drive of the second half for Duke.
You know, and you got to give Malik Murphy credit because he's being good in the pre-snap. He's checking the safety rotation. He's looking out at the cornerbacks to see where their eyes are, and he's determining that it's man coverage pre-snap. So right here, you see him get to the line of scrimmage. We're okay. We've got a good play on against this coverage. We're going to take a shot. I got the matchup I want, and that's what helps you play in rhythm as a quarterback. You've already determined who you're throwing it to. You just got to take your steps and get rid of the ball.
Remember, this is a redshirt sophomore who helped keep Texas's college football playoff hopes alive when he was 2-0 as the starter. And he leaves Texas before their CFP run, comes to Duke, and now is really starting to find his rhythm here. What a day this could turn into.
And he's got to feel good at this point, too, because he's got Eli Pankel, who's been their best route runner the last couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden, Jordan Moore, who we know isn't playing 100%, he's been able to step up and win a lot of one-on-one opportunities as well outside. So right now, it's not as obvious who Duke's going to be throwing to in this situation. They've got a lot of viable targets outside.
There's a big 3rd and 6. Murphy against a 4-man rush, and the whistles came in just before that snap as the flag rains down.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
You know what you'd love to see from Miami, too, Joe, at some point is the pass rush to come alive. And Malik Murphy has had a lot of clean pockets to throw to. You got to give his offensive line a ton of credit. Miami came into this game leading the ACC in sacks per game. And they've got guys like Mesidor, who you just saw there, a lot of dudes that are going to play in the NFL. These guys have to now step up and win their one-on-ones.
Super talented defensive line. And they can win those one-on-ones. And here's an opportunity to do that on 3rd down and 11. Murphy on 3rd and 11. Here's Hagans turning the corner, and he's going to be marked about a yard short of that line to gain.
That's a really similar route to the one he scored on in the second quarter. He was able to break one tackle and try to split 3 defenders. It's going to bring up 4th and short. And what does Manny Diaz decide to do here? Remember, he went for the win against SMU in OT and showed that he was willing to be aggressive. He's leaving his offense out on the field here, down close to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, last week they had a field goal attempt blocked in the 4th quarter. They had a short field goal miss. They had an extra point miss. They're going to use a timeout. Folks, it's going to be 4th and 1 at the 6-yard line when we return here to South.
Their bigger, more physical running back is in the huddle right now. One thing to keep in mind, Duke barely ever runs Malik Murphy. It's something they hardly ever do in games. So if you're Miami, you've got to be keying on 17. He's lined up at receiver now, expecting him to come back in the backfield.
And Murphy 6'5", 230. And now they do shift. Here it is, 4th and 1 Duke. Murphy. They're going to get right in with Jomo. Jordan Moore, touchdown. touchdown reception on 4th down.
Well, the freeze from the defense of Star Thomas coming this way just freezes 3 bodies inside, and that allows Joe Moore underneath on the flat. This is a tremendous design. It was just a split second of hesitation, and that's all Jordan Moore needed to outflank the defense and score a massive touchdown on 4th down.
And give credit to Jonathan Brewer for some of the play calls he has dialed up. But Jesse, let me say this. I mean, we've been calling college games together for many, many years, and you can sense sometimes when you get days like this how there are these emotional turn moments.
Yeah.
Jordan Moore provided one in this game. They were down by 2 touchdowns.
You were just wondering how they were going to respond after losing the way they did last week against SMU. And you're right, it was ugly early. It was 14-0, and you're thinking, here come Cam Ward, here comes Miami. But that one play by Moore, again, not being 100%.
No.
It galvanized his entire team. Defense responded. Offenses responded. Manny Diaz keeping the foot on the pedal and staying aggressive like on that last 4th down right now. All the momentum is on Duke's side here.
And for Manny Diaz, you see him there, considering how things ended here when he was the Miami head coach. And Mario Cristobal took over later that season at the end of that road for Manny Diaz. And now his return to South Florida. Chris Johnson on the kickoff return. And as Johnson with a decent return, and it ends up being this kind of a performance by Diaz's team, 28-17. Hey, Tuesday on ESPN, the College Football Playoff Top 25 show presented by Allstate. The first rankings release as we get ready with the Allstate Playoff Predictor.
Yeah, it might look a little bit different.
That's coming into today.
I know. That number 90 probably is changing a little bit as we speak right now. Still a lot of football left to go. Obviously, Penn State trailing at Ohio State against Ohio State right now as well. Texas still has to play Texas A&M down the road. A lot of football left.
And Ward on the slant. Restrepo. And look at Restrepo work his way to midfield. And don't forget, you can go to ESPN.com/Allstate Playoff Predictor to check out your team's chances.
I like that idea by Miami, by the way. You've got to get Cam Ward now back in rhythm. He's only completed 3 of his last 11 coming into the last throw, and the ball's just got to be able to come out quickly.
And look at Mark Fletcher. Inspired. Tough running from Fletcher, who, as we told you, has been grief-stricken, playing with a heavy heart after the loss of his father, Mark, last week. Services were just at the end of this week.
And how about Xavier Restrepo on this play? As you see a Duke player down, just made a big catch. Now you're going to come up and you're going to block Cameron Bergeron, get a little bit physical and help your running back out. It's not just what you do when you get the ball in the passing game, but you've got to be the complete wide receiver, and one of the all-time greats in Miami getting it done.
And Terry Moore is down, the starting safety for Duke. We'll take a short break. They had lost 13 of 15, and now they've won 3 out of the last 5. And now, with this exceptional Miami team that's 8-0 with a Heisman contending quarterback in Cam Ward, it's Duke 28-17 against top 5 Miami. Cam Ward launching it downfield, looking for Restrepo.
I know that's a tough catch, but that's one Xavier Restrepo normally makes in his sleep. I like the play call by Dawson. You're trying to get Ward outside to buy him some time. It's going to be a wheel route and tight coverage. Give Jalen Stinson at safety a lot of credit. He closed the distance quickly to help knock that thing loose, but that's a catch Xavier Restrepo has been making his entire Miami career.
4 catches away from becoming the all-time leader in receptions here at the U. 2nd down and 10. Fletcher makes his way inside the 30-yard line. By the way, Terry Moore did walk off the field. We saw the safety for Duke, who was down and being attended to by the medical staff moments ago.
On his 3rd down, Duke just brought on their best 2 pass rushers, Wesley Williams, number 97, and number 7, Vincent Anthony. Fresh bodies on a critical 3rd down. These are 2 guys that love to get up the field. Can they get pressure here on Cam Ward?
3rd down and 5. Quick strike is complete for a first down, Jacoby George.
Well, it's been Isaiah Horton on the receiving end of most of those. This time, though, it's Jacoby George going against Chandler Rivers, and he wins. Just on the slant throw, breaks across his face. He's so quick and sudden out of his break, and a nice throw out in front, right on the face mask by Cam Ward, moves the sticks.
8-yard reception by George. Miami had a 2-touchdown lead, now trailing by 11 halfway through this 3rd quarter. Cam going up was George again. What an effort. Body control and hands. Jacoby George, 17 yards. It's 1st and goal, Miami.
You've seen Malik Murphy do it a couple times with the back shoulder throw. There's a really nice one from Cam Ward as well. How about the extension by George? Really good coverage that time by Kamari Robinson. Nothing he could do.
Quick to snap to the end zone. Touchdown, Xavier Restrepo.
Nice job here of Restrepo, working the outside technique of the defender and just curling up here in zone coverage between 2 defenders. You see the corner outside, looks like he's in man. He's going to crash that. He's peeking inside. That had to be a perfect throw and a perfect route. And that time, you heard Katie talking about it earlier, Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo just being on the same page.
Dos Equis go for Dos. They're going for 2 to try to make it just a field goal margin. Ward trying to run it himself. Does he have the push? How about that? Road grading right in. Give credit to that offensive line. And it's back to just a 3-point margin.
And that was a bruising block that time by Elijah Arroyo on Kendall Johnson at linebacker. And this paves the way for Cam Ward. Arroyo, normally we're used to seeing him making catches down the field in the vertical passing game. He slammed the linebacker and helped score. This is the touchdown to Restrepo. This is such a good route and such a good throw on time because Chandler Rivers, a corner, number 0, he was peeking in. He was trying to pick that off, but it all got set up by the back shoulder catch.
And they were quick to go to the
George.
line there. That did not get replayed as they didn't look to see the continuation, the firm control. They went right to the line. They snapped it. Quick strike that goes 2 minutes and 47 seconds, 7 plays. And Ward and Restrepo connecting for another touchdown. And for Xavier Restrepo, he is closing in on history. These are the career numbers. He's still number 2 right now in total receptions, number 2 in yards, number 3 in yards, excuse me, but he could make history today. Kevin Negandhi, we got ourselves a good one here.
That's no doubt. AT&T's keeping fans connected as we take a look at our multi-view, which is showcasing a bunch of great games across our networks. Right now, Ole Miss all over Arkansas. That game over on ESPN. UTSA up a touchdown against Memphis over on ESPN2. NC State feeling really good on the ACC network. And we're at the half on the SEC network with Vandy and Auburn tied at 7. Back to you and Jesse.
Look forward to the rest of the day of college football. Georgia, Florida set to come your way. See Texas A&M later tonight. And Michael Irvin giving kisses to Xavier Restrepo, who has already passed him on the all-time list and now has pulled the Canes to within 3. Undefeated Miami trying to stay perfect today. Star Thomas looking to bounce this as he is chased down by Barron. Katie.
Yeah, Tess, I mean, talk about dependable. Mario Cristobal said, you know, Cam finds Restrepo when it's crunch time, critical play, gotta have it. Look at those 4th down catches this year. I mean, both Cal and Virginia Tech. Cristobal said those are historical catches, game-changing, season-defining catches. He said that guy is as valuable as any player on our team, and that he's teammates with Cam Ward.
And Katie, don't you get the feeling when the game's on the line, when you have to have it, your best players have to touch the football, and that's Xavier Restrepo.
Murphy on 2nd and 6. Intercepted. He floated it downfield. freshman with a heck of a return. And man, oh man, do the Canes have Uncle Mo. Momentum Miami.
Well, anytime receivers take an inside release on a go route, the throw has to be absolutely perfect because you're now throwing it more to the middle of the field, and that's what happened. Frederic, the true freshman, takes the outside, forces more to go inside, and that ball just had a little too much air under it, and Frederic fielded that thing almost like it was a punt. A true freshman, not highly recruited coming out of high school, but he got to camp, he just competed, and he earned time. And he's shown up here in this game, making big-time plays out on an island.
And now after they just went down the field, scored a touchdown, got the two-pointer, Cam Ward and the Canes right back out there. Here's Arroyo on the tight end screen. First down, Canes.
You just feel like that last touchdown, Joe, by Miami to Restrepo, it totally changed the momentum. Just listen to the crowd right now. They've come back alive. Their defense responds with an interception of their own, and now you've got Miami driving.
Martinez, as they push him ahead. Look at this. I mean, you talk about desire and wanting it and getting after it. The offensive line making a decision to do just that.
Yeah, Nez Cooper's 350 pounds. He's the right guard, 73, and he kind of bear hugs Martinez from behind, and he's just pushing. You've seen this against Louisville. You saw it against Florida State last week, and you're seeing it again now. Again, those body blows, Joe, those 2-3 yard runs early, they become bigger runs later in games.
There's Frederic. He had the interception, and now what will the offense do with the opportunity? Cam Ward, 3 touchdown passes today.
Spent a lot of time staring over there at Jacoby George. Must be something he likes.
2nd and 3. Ward felt the pressure, gets rid of it for a first down to Horton. Cam Ward just finds ways.
That time Cam Ward started looking to the right, nothing there. He was able to turn around. I don't know how he got this ball out with 2 defenders around him and how it was able to somehow become an accurate throw to Horton. Martinez,
as he lowers the shoulder inside the 10.
Joe, you and I talk about it almost every week. It's like these run plays, it's like a prize fight. It's like body blows that wears defenses down. Look at this throw again. You talk about awkward body throws. Like you've got a guy with his helmet in your spine. And somehow still, with those throwing mechanics, and the different arm angles and slots, I don't know how he does it, but he's able to get it out accurately.
Gets a big defensive end, a 6'6" Vincent Anthony. 2nd and 6 now for the Canes. There's a buzz here at Hard Rock after that interception, and a chance to retake the lead after they trailed by 11. Ward, the slant, and Jacoby George scores it. They're going to say Duke is arguing he didn't have firm control. They're saying incomplete. Incomplete is the ruling.
This was a small window in between Rivers and Stinson. Looks like he has it in on his body. And then it starts coming loose when he goes to the ground, Joe. I don't think he had possession all the way through.
Look at how close, Jess.
That's a great play competing again. We've seen Rivers. He's done this time and time on slant routes this game. Just able to be physical, do it cleanly. And that is a good call, incomplete.
It was a good look all the way through. The process of the catch was not completed with firm control. So it is 3rd down and 6.
Cover 0 look here.
Ward sidearms it underneath. Restrepo's going to give them 1st and goal.
Well, that's a nice job. Duke was showing pressure. They dropped out into zone, and Cam Ward had to get through a progression a little bit, but the time the offensive line gave him allowed him to find Restrepo underneath. He was like his 4th read on that progression. Now a fresh set of downs inside the 3-yard line.
Whole lot of body paint to write what's pretty obvious, that Cam Ward is among the very best in the country. Heisman candidate, looking to give his undefeated Canes the lead here. They go to the up back, and that is going to be stopped short. It was Elijah Lofton, and they're saying touchdown. Initial surge was stopped short, and then the second effort, he brings it in. The H-back tight end, Elijah Lofton, the true freshman. And Manny Diaz is saying, we got to take a look at this. He's pointing to the elbow.
Well, let's take a look again. Lofton, you see him a lot in goal line situations, but you haven't seen him turn around and take handoffs too much. Where's that elbow, and where's the ball in relation to the goal line when that elbow hits?
This is what Manny Diaz is arguing for. Remember, the ruling on the field is touchdown Miami.
So you need inconclusive video evidence, undisputable video evidence to overturn this.
And it is a touchdown.
Wow.
Elijah Lofton, the freshman from Vegas, as Miami, the Canes have stormed back. They trailed 28-17. The offense found its groove. The defense got the turnover. And undefeated Miami is up 32-28 all of a sudden. Sections across the nation competing to be Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. You can download the Taco Bell app to learn more. And of course, when you're a student here at the U, that student section can roll right into like a night at High Beach or Club Space or 11 or Floyd. You just pick them down there, don't you, Jess?
Yeah. Not that I have any prior experience.
No, you're dog and stroller guy nowadays.
Places. Right. Never seen them in my life. Well, crazy third quarter, Joe, right? Duke came out with a lead starting at the half, and then they go down the field, 4th and 1. Are they going to go for it? They do. They hit Jordan Moore in the flat for a big touchdown. Everything going Duke's way, but Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo link up for a touchdown. That seemed to change things because on the very next drive, Duke tries a go ball down the sideline. O.J. Frederick, the freshman, gets the interception, and they capitalize with true freshman tight end Elijah Lofton punching it in. And all the momentum now is switched back to Miami side. There have been so many different ebbs and flows in this game, and now all the pressure on Malik Murphy and this Duke offense to answer.
Here's Murphy. As he comes dragging across and finding Eli Pankel. Pankel goes ahead for that line to gain. It's been a wildly entertaining third quarter with everything you just put forth. 4th and 1 by Duke that they scored on. Miami with a big surge and a 2-point conversion. And this is how we arrived at 32-28.
You know, there's so much pressure now, I think, on Miami's secondary at this point in the game. Duke's receivers have made a lot of big plays, especially down the field. They've made big plays on third downs. The secondary, which I think is the biggest question mark for this Miami football team. Can they step up here in the second half and ice this thing?
Peyton Jones gets free. And Jones still on his feet working his way towards midfield. First down, Duke.
The zone is the bread and butter run for Duke, and it's a simple concept. You've got linemen working double teams and then guys climbing up into the second level. Great job right here by the center, right there. He's able to chip up, that's the right guard. He's able to chip up and get up to a linebacker, help open a crease. These running backs are patient. When they see the holes open, they put their foot in the ground. It's a simple concept running it, but it's been hard all season for defenses to stop.
13 yards there. First down, Duke. 48-yard line. Not much this time for Jones.
No, and it was big number 10, Simeon Barrow, getting a stop. He has had such an impact on this Miami defense since transferring in from Michigan State. A guy that's 6'3", 290 pounds. And Joe, it hasn't just been run stopping like what you just saw. The big guy's got some wiggle to him too. 5.5 sacks this year. He's been a problem blocking in run plays and pass protection as well. And he makes a big stop for Miami.
Had that big forced fumble at Louisville that they scored a touchdown on.
Yeah. Very
active, disruptive guy to your point. 2nd and 9. Murphy gets it out quickly and gets it complete to Pankel.
Well, it's a good timing throw, too, because Miami's showing blitz. They're going to bail out into zone coverage, and there's never any hesitation from Malik Murphy trying to find Pankel there on the out route. Check if this is a catch. He goes up. Down. I don't know. All looked like to me like it may have been moving. His foot was already off the ground.
Third down and 2. Murphy sprint right. Downfield throw. What an unbelievable effort from Jomo. Jordan Moore does it again.
This will go down as one of the great catches of this college football season. Running the smash route, ball thrown behind, just palms it with his right hand. That looks like that's going to be way incomplete, way behind him, and on a massive third down, right in between two Miami defenders, he comes up with another big play.
ESPN College Football, presented by Tums Gummy Bites, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
How do you finish this game?
We'll finish it by executing, right? It's not only about the team that wants it most, it's about executing, right? We're going back and forth. They're making some plays. We're making some plays. Execute our systems better than they execute theirs.
Thank you.
Talk about making some plays. Jordan Moore just made one to cap the third quarter. That's so far the play of the day. And now Duke is in position to start this fourth quarter, trailing undefeated Miami by 4. Star Thomas as he drags the defender inside the 15. Here are Jordan Moore's 2 catches today.
Well, he had the play of the day earlier in the first quarter. This was the first one on the back shoulder fade. That was remarkable, able to stay in bounds. And this is just incredible. Come on. I mean, in between two defenders, climbing the ladder behind him. I know this is a guy that's been battling injuries these last couple of games. I think it's safe to say he's healthy, right? I mean, you have to be to make a play like that.
They put that side by side. Garrett Wilson with the Jets and what we just saw with Jordan Moore. And around, here's Brown. He's looking to pass the ball, and then he is taken down. And a face mask call likely coming in here at the end that may bail out Duke.
Wow. And you talk about bailing him out. You're right, Joe.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 9. The penalty is avoided half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
That's Tyler Barron at the end, Jesse.
And listen, Quayshawn Brown has to throw that ball away. You cannot take a tackle for loss in that situation. If it's not open down the field, you just got to get rid of this thing. Very, very fortunate because Miami had it covered, and they were bearing down on him. Just a bad penalty from the Tennessee transfer.
Jesse, trick plays like that on a condensed field in the red zone often can go that way. And now the penalty just eliminates any worry or concern with what they just called. It was going to be a loss of 9. Instead, it's 1st and goal. Murphy to the end zone, and he throws it away.
He's outside of the pocket. That ball crossed the line of scrimmage, so it's not intentional grounding. You know, down here at this point, Joe, you got to throw to your biggest playmakers, and who's shown up time and time again for Malik Murphy? It's Jordan Moore.
Yeah, he's been the star of the day for him at the biggest moment.
That's the guy you got to look for and find, and they've been moving him from the right side to the left side. But I think getting him away from O.J. Frederick and maybe working against Deani Hill, number 19 from Miami, that's what Duke should be thinking.
He's going to be at the top of your screen. The number 2 receiver to the top of your screen is number 8. And he's up against Jadis Richard. Let's see if that's where it goes on 2nd and goal. Murphy floats it to the corner of the end zone. No chance. He wanted to get Jake Taylor, the 6'5" tight end. They are without their 2 top tight ends for the season, by the way. Hasley and Dalmolin both out injured for the season. Trailing by 4 against the number 5 team in the country, undefeated Miami, upset-seeking Duke, now facing a 3rd and goal. And a timeout is going to be used by Manny Diaz and the Blue Devils. Fourth quarter drama. They're facing 3rd and goal when we return. 1 straight games to top 5 opponents. And here they are in the fourth quarter. Manny Diaz's return to Miami. And it's 3rd and goal, trailing undefeated Miami by 4.
Their biggest playmaker, Jordan Moore, he's down on the right side, outside, working against Miami's corner, De'Ani Hill here. This is where I'd be thinking if I were Malik Murphy.
Now they tighten up the formation, bring him in closer. Star Thomas is flanking at running back. 3rd and goal. Murphy to the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Higgins. It was a low throw in front of Richard.
And I'm curious to know what Duke's going to do. It looks like they're going to kick a field goal, and that's interesting, considering the struggles that Todd Polino had last week against SMU. Remember, he had his last 3 kicks blocked. And to me, Joe, at this point, we saw Manny Diaz go for it earlier on 4th and 1. I just don't know if you're going to beat the Hurricanes with field goals.
Polino to cut it to a 1-point margin. And he does just that. 32-31. Manny Diaz, his return here to South Florida. You know, it's interesting. We were just talking in the commercial break. He faced a situation earlier in this half where it was 4th down. They had the 6-yard touchdown, and they went for it when they were closing in. Here he just cuts it to a 1-point margin.
Well, I think when he made the decision earlier in the 3rd quarter to go for it on 4th down, their defense seemed to be getting Cam Ward and that offense in control a little bit, but we've now seen an explosion from Cam Ward in this offense here more recently. And to me, I think that has to sometimes change your mindset. Are field goals going to get it done, or is Cam Ward in this offense, are they just too explosive? And we're going to have to win this game scoring touchdowns. Time will tell, obviously. There's a lot of football left to go.
Oh, I mean, how about this Miami season? You talk about a lot of football left. The Hail Mary turnover, overturn play against Virginia Tech. The 25-point comeback at Cal. The wild game we had at Louisville. I mean, time and again, as the squib kick is fielded, and it does so with Lofton with a good return. Elijah Lofton, who had the touchdown run moments ago, the true freshman playing special teams, gets that return for Miami.
And now sets them up in great field position. And Joe, referencing what you said a second ago, we've seen how well Miami's been able to finish games this year. They make a lot of really good adjustments at halftime. They've been the best second half team this season in all of college football. Point differential of 16.5 points. A big reason why is that guy right there. He seems to play his best when the game is on the line. And certainly this feels like a huge moment for Miami.
Here's Martinez, doesn't find much. Miami back on offense, and that means that Xavier Restrepo, who's been sensational today with 2 touchdowns, could make history. You think about all the all-time greats, and he's closing in. He's 1 away from tying the all-time receptions list and 40 yards away from the all-time yardage mark. Number 1 is Santana Moss, and Xavier Restrepo could take that slot right here in this fourth quarter.
You should QB draw this if you're Cam Ward. Only 5 guys in the box.
Diamond bunch formation to the top of your screen. 2nd and 8. Downfield in stride. He's got George. Touchdown Canes. Zombieland celebration for good. A 49-yard strike out of the oddball diamond formation to the top. Went right downfield. Made it look easy.
The defense thought Cam Ward was just going to spit this thing out very quickly, and they forgot about George on the outside. They think this is just going to be a screen. Everybody starts to bite. No one is concerned about George on the outside running vertically down the field. And just a nice job putting touch under the ball, making it an easy catch. We talked about just how explosive this offense is, particularly in second halves of games. You saw it right there.
Borregales adds the extra point. Don't blink when Cam Ward's on the field. It only took him 49 seconds to respond. He has 4 touchdown passes today, 28 on the season. Oh, what a beauty this was to George. 39-31. Man, oh man, is this offense fun to watch.
There and Taco Bell.
See that Zombieland touchdown celebration by the Heisman contending Cam Ward, but this is the guy who was on the glory, and Jacoby George, as Michael Irvin says, attaboy, 49-yard touchdown, and with that, undefeated number 5 Miami has a 39-31 lead over Duke.
Just as Jacoby George was so upset with himself on the sidelines after dropping the ball in the end zone 2 drives ago, Cam Ward and his teammates said, flush it. You're going to get another opportunity, make it count, and boy, did he just minutes later.
Katie, he did. Big-time players make big plays in big games. It's got to be the last name, Katie. That's what I think it is.
Del Piccolo's his last name?
Oh.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
George has come through, okay?
I'm sorry. Italians can dream, Katie.
Yeah, we know how to finish games, y'all.
Shout out Paulo. All right, here we go. Sar Thomas cuts back against the grain and goes ahead for 8 hard-earned yards.
That's a tremendous job because Ruben Bain had that thing sealed off, and you see Thomas just be able to put his foot in the ground and get upfield. Physical running, a play that they needed, this offense needed badly.
See Simeon Barrow is slow to get up. Want to remind you, we've got really important ACC action tonight. 7:30 on ESPN. Louisville against number 11 Clemson, Jesse, and then 8 o'clock on the ACC network. Number 18 Pitt, number 20 SMU. Today feels like the day that'll define so much as to how we arrive at this ACC championship
Going to be some separation, no doubt about it. The SMU game tonight's so interesting. It's like their first home game in over a month. And take a look at these percentages and chance to reach the playoff. A lot of that is based off who's Miami's played so far and who they've got left. Remember, Pitt still has to play SMU and Clemson. And that SMU Pitt game tonight is interesting. Jennings, standing quarterback for SMU, had 3 big interceptions last week against Duke. He's got to be careful against that Pitt defense. Remember, they had 3 pick sixes, I think, on consecutive drives against Syracuse last week. Good news for Miami, by the way. Big Simeon Barrow getting up, getting to the sideline. They need him.
He's top 5 in the ACC in sacks. And remember, this discussion we're having about the ACC, and of course, as you know, the new college football playoff format with 12 teams, and the conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4. The first rankings reveal is coming Tuesday night. Will we have major disruption prior to that? We got undefeated Miami here, back and forth with Duke. 2nd and 3. Thomas tackled for a loss. Ruben Bain, the first to get there.
They line up Ruben Bain to the field, and I love that idea because at 275 pounds, he's so strong, he can create a wall and set the edge. So when offenses are trying to run to the wide side of the field, he can force it to stop and go back into the traffic. He almost made the tackle the previous play, and he does make the play right here, now setting up a big 3rd and 5.
Murphy on 3rd and 5. That is denied. Pass defended by Richard. He was looking for Pankel.
Jadis Richard was sitting on that hitch route. He was waiting for it. As soon as this ball came out, he attacked. He's got his eyes in the backfield right there. No hesitation. Good explosiveness. Forces the PBU, and Miami's going to get the football back.
Great job by Richard. Reynoldson on to punt. Under 12 minutes to play. Duke offense found their groove. It was their first 3 and out since the first quarter. This a line drive knuckler for Ray Joseph to return, as he was tackled by the snapper Curtis Cooper from Huntsville, Alabama. Reminder, this is just the start to an exciting day here on ABC. Action coming your way from Jacksonville, a much improved Florida team going up against number 2 Georgia. The SEC on ABC.
Trevor Etienne, former Gator, now the starting running back for Georgia. This is going to be personal for him. There he is. Personal also, I think, for Florida's defense that has gotten a lot better, Joe.
Yeah.
The last 3 games out, they've been a lot more physical. This one's going to be a lot of fun.
We got Georgia today. They've got Texas next week. But they're that kind of team at this stage of the season. They can get somebody. We'll see if it happens coming up on ABC. Cam Ward takes his time and gets it complete to Brown. And Sam Brown, what a move for extra yardage past midfield. He turned the corner and split defenders.
Such a good job by Cam Ward here, just with progressions. And he starts this thing looking all the way to his left, and he's going to scan back before finding his 4th receiver. Just a really good understanding here of coverage and of the progression and what Shannon Dawson's trying to draw up before finally getting it to the Houston transfer, Sam Brown.
Jalen Stinson was down at the end of that play, one of the starting defensive backs for Duke. This other walk off the field. It's a 20-yard completion. Cam Ward, 4 touchdown passes today. Keep it on the ground with Martinez.
That's what I like about this offense too, Joe, is Shannon Dawson, their offensive coordinator. He's an air raid guy.
Yes.
But unlike a lot of air raid coaches, he's not throwing it 60 times a game. He wants to run the ball. I think it's a big reason Mario Cristobal hired him away from Houston to be his OC. This offense can beat you with finesse throwing it, and they can beat you with physicality. Very balanced. And it's really a pick-your-poison dilemma.
I believe it's the best offense in the country. When you look across all the position groups, what they're able to do, I don't think a lot of people would argue much the other way from top to bottom. They're talented out there, but this guy is super. And that is incomplete. But the Xavier Restrepo, if he had caught that, would have had both records in Miami history.
And that would have been an unbelievably crazy catch because he's trying to go over Deshaun Stone. They're on the double move. Fantastic route. Stone catches up to it. Restrepo just not able to reel this thing in. But how about Miami? Here with an 8-point lead in the 4th quarter, and they're still taking shots deep down the field.
Highest scoring offense in the country, with the Heisman contending quarterback who already has 4 touchdown passes today. 3rd and 5. Ward extending the play as he often does. A flag comes down, could have holding as a wobbler goes cross field, and it's picked off by Chandler Rivers. Rivers has come up big, had the pick 6 against Florida State, the big interception against SMU, and gets this here in the 4th quarter.
It's going to be holding on Maui Noah, the right tackle, so this is going to be Duke's ball.
Prior to the interception, holding, offense number 61. The penalty is declined. First down.
And this is the biggest negative of Cam Ward. He consistently breaks the cardinal rule and is always trying to throw the ball back across his body. He's gotten away with it in games. Did it against Florida week 1, but he's also thrown some terrible interceptions. And Miami fans will remember the awful pick 6 against Cal. It's something he's got to stop doing, but because he has so much belief in his arm talent, I don't think it's something he's ever going to get rid of, and you just got to live with it, unfortunately, if you're Mario Cristobal and Shannon Dawson. And how about Chandler Rivers, by the way?
This kid's so good.
That's now his 3rd interception in 3 games.
He has been red hot. Duke, just a possession game now with the ball. Peyton Jones Under 10 minutes to play.
Zone, zone, zone. That's what you're going to get up front from Duke in this offensive line. Ruben Bain did a nice job that time getting inside, but because he snuck inside, he got out of his gap. You got to have gap control here if you're Miami's defensive line. You got to eat these double teams and allow your linebackers to run free. They're struggling with that here on these last two drives.
Malik Murphy had 3 touchdowns himself today. Jones on 2nd and 7. It's going to be 3rd and 6 as Ruben Bain made the tackle.
4 straight run plays. Nobody can block Ruben Bain. He's literally taken this thing over. He's going to slip inside the right tackle here. There's nowhere to go. He was hurt, missed 4 games with a soft tissue injury. Since he's been back in the lineup, the guy's just living in people's backfields. And he's starting to take this game over here in the 4th quarter.
Down and 6. Nearly intercepted by Maui Noah. It was Frederic the first to deflect it, and the Miami defense holds.
Wow, very, very lucky. Malik Murphy. They try to run a slant. Jordan Moore's been so good all game long. You can't do this, though. You got to cross his face. You can't stop and go behind on a slant route. You hang your quarterback out to dry. That should have been picked off twice, Joe. You're right. Frederic had the first shot. Jordan Moore, good for him coming back and breaking up the second one that Maui Noah should have had. Moore's made so many great plays deep down the field, but that was not a good route.
Reynoldson to punt away. And it goes far out of bounds to the right. So Duke got the interception, but they didn't do anything with that opportunity. College football rankings are brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
There'll be a lot of changes coming up here, obviously, with Penn State and Ohio State facing off today. Remember, Clemson's down here right now, and they're sitting at number 11. That could be a matchup later with Miami and the ACC. Maybe Texas and Texas A&M are going to play each other in the regular season. This is going to change. This picture is very fluid, but I'm excited, Joe, for Tuesday night, the initial college football playoff rankings.
First rankings revealed will be Tuesday night. Reese and the guys will give us all the analysis. How will it all play out for Miami and everything down the stretch here in the ACC. Mark Fletcher gets the carry. Reminder that is coming your way Tuesday. A live interview with the committee chairman Ward Manuel, the Michigan AD. That's 7 Eastern on ESPN, also available on the app. Cam Ward through the interception crossbody moments ago. Your analysis, I think, dead on. We've seen it this year. He's so talented. He's so confident in what he can do. He pushes the extremes, and sometimes it costs him. On the other side, 4 touchdown passes and another Miami lead. And stuff like that, here goes Restrepo. Welcome to the record books, your number 1. Most catches, most yards in the grand history of this program, and his mom, Ashley, is loving it. Six-yard touchdown, Xavier Restrepo. Of all the greats who have ever played here, nobody with more yards or catches at the receiver position. As you see his dad, Jaime, mom Ashley, celebrating. Nobody with more than Xavier Restrepo, and what a way to do it. 46-31.
to do it on a play like that, too. An explosive play, just highlighting all of his skills from the route running and the hands and the ability after the catch. Things he's been doing his entire career here. Such a remarkable personal story as well.
This offense just never stops, does it, Jess?
It doesn't, and their RPO game's as good as I've seen this year. This is just a slant, but because Cam Ward gets it to him so quickly, he's able to split these two safeties. I mean, watch this. After the fake, it's out right now, and you get it to him fast, and it gives him an opportunity to get upfield and find his running path. So many times with quarterbacks in the RPO game, you got to catch the snap, you got to get the laces, you got to get your shoulders turned, and by the time the ball gets to the receiver, he's probably getting tackled. The mechanics of Cam Ward there very special, and you see it very emotional.
This is mom. Ashley Restrepo.
Yeah, what a game. What a game. What a career.
Last two Miami touchdowns took only 1:34 and 4 plays. Cam Ward has 345 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Murphy quickly gets it for 9.5 yards to Pankel. And Cam Ward, the Heisman contending quarterback for undefeated Miami, his own statistical superlatives, his 29th passing touchdown, that ties the Miami.
And that's amazing. You think about QBU and Vinny Testaverde and Bernie Kosar and Jim Kelly.
That is intercepted as Miami's Jadis Richard comes up with the pick.
Richard's slow to get up. Eli Procol is just running a spot route. And when you throw over the middle, tips lead to picks. This is a catch that Procol should have made. Jadis Richard there to get the interception. We certainly hope he's okay. You're going to see the route coming from this side. Here's the spot. It's a bang-bang throw that needs to get caught. Ball tipped in the air.
Jadis Richard is reaching for his right leg. And with that, and the medical staff out there, it gives us time to check in with Kevin and Booger.
Tess, let's go to Happy Valley. Biggest play of the game. Penn State on 4th down, Boog, and they cannot convert against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I thought it was a terrible play call. Nobody open for Drew Allar. You got to get a better play call if you're the OC, Andy Kotelnicki.
Down goes unbeaten Penn State, and Ryan Day now 6-0 all-time against Penn State. 20-13 the final. Tess, back to you.
It was a big win for Ohio State as we are back here in what has been a thriller all day, and then Miami here in the 4th quarter. Just the offense exploding with Cam Ward's 5 touchdown passes. The concern is with Jadis Richard, the cornerback from Miami, who just had the interception moments ago, but has been slow to get up, and the medical staff is helping him off the field with no weight being put on that right leg.
You got to give the secondary of Miami a ton of credit in this game. They've had some ups and downs all throughout the course of the season, but 3 massive interceptions. That's been one of the biggest stories of this game so far. And here in the second half, when you've got an offense led by Cam Ward with all the playmakers at receiver and running back and tight end, when you're stealing possessions, giving it back to your offense, it's just all complimentary. Here's Cam Ward on his day. This is the first drive of the game. This play took about 8 seconds before this throw got on. This is incredible. Off a tip drill, Restrepo able to make the catch in the back of the end zone. Then it's Cam McCormick, the 9-year senior transfer out of Oregon on the drag route in the red zone. This play, I think, Joe, in the second half, the touchdown catch by Restrepo is the one that changed the momentum for Miami.
Top scoring offense in the country, and they're right there at their average. And of course, listen, you can go on and on with showing you Cam Ward highlights, so we're going to show you all 5 touchdown passes here, Jess.
No, I mean, they're everywhere. We just saw this on the last drive out of the diamond formation to Jacoby George. I mean, the RPO game looks so much better because of how quickly Cam Ward gets it out. That's the record-breaking reception by Restrepo. I mean, you blink, and this offense just lights up the scoreboard.
Which is why I am so fascinated to see what happens down the stretch of this season with Miami. What will be the matchup in the ACC Championship if they can stay the course? Sam Brown, he's not done either. Reaching out, and where will they spot him? Just short. Miami is knocking on the door to go over the 50 spot.
And again, I know I keep saying it, turning to shortstop, but look what happens when Cam Ward gets this thing out as fast as he does. Look how much room he has after he makes the catch. He's able to get his head turned around, find the offensive lineman, downfield blocking, and go make something happen. It changes the dynamics of the RPO game completely. You've seen that now in the last 2 drives.
I formation with Mark Fletcher as the featured back here. Fletcher straight ahead, and Fletcher into the end zone as he takes a knee and points to the sky. Last week, his father, Mark Sr., passed away. He played on against Florida State. This week, as you see his family here in the crowd cheering him on, the coaching staff, his teammates joined him in the services to celebrate the life of his father, Mark Sr. And he has played on with a heavy heart with his father's memory and scoring a touchdown here to put Miami over 50 points on the day. The 5th game this season when they have scored 50 or more. The #1 scoring offense in the country.
Such an impressive young man, and someone I know everybody in Miami's locker room really looks up to. And that's saying a lot, Joe. He's only a true sophomore.
He was a massive recruit locally coming out of Fort Lauderdale. He's in the program. Damian Martinez was the star running back at Oregon State and was the big get in the transfer portal. You know who helped recruit him? Mark Fletcher, who knew it's going to cost him playing time.
Yeah.
He wanted the best possible team here in Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. And a guy that just shows up every single day, not just on game day, but all throughout the week in practice with the right attitude, playing hard, giving great effort. See these really touching photos of him and his father.
Mark Sr. passed away last Thursday. They were in the midst of practice when he was informed, Katie.
Yeah, Tess, I mean, his teammates just say that they admire the incredible strength and the selflessness, truly, that he wanted to continue to practice. He wanted to play against Florida State, and that after the funeral yesterday, he wants to be out on the field with his teammates. This has been such a special season. Obviously, his heart is heavy, but the fact that he wants to continue to produce and play for this team means a great deal to the guys around him.
Duke had closed this to a 1-point game. Duke had an 11-point lead here in the second half. It was 28-17 in the second half, Jesse.
But you can't turn it over and give the ball back to Cam Ward. 3 interceptions by Miami's defense have led to 21 points. You can't give the best players in the country more possessions. It's a death sentence out here in a game like this. It's going back and forth. But it's been the costly mistakes. Duke's done a lot of really good things here in this game today, but those costly turnovers have really hurt them.
Malik Murphy, he is pressured but able to get it complete out to the 39-yard line as he's able to connect with Hagans. That is not a good sign for Miami. And J.S. Richard, we hope the best for him. He had the interception moments ago, and now it's being taken off in a car.
And they've had injury problems already in the secondary for Miami. Remember, their starting corner, Damari Brown, got hurt week 1 against Florida. So if they lose Richard, that's not good news.
Murphy able to spin free and then gets it complete, but immediately tackled was Hagans, and you can see the effect of that as he was driven back by Patterson, the true freshman safety. Davis Richards. Defensive backfield, Jesse, as you mentioned, Damari Brown was injured earlier this year. It was a very talented front 7. They've given up big plays with the defensive backfield. They do not want to get thinned out more and more.
No, that's the big question to me when you start talking about, can Miami win a national championship? The secondary, I think, is the glaring weakness throughout the course of the season. for Miami, but they've come up with some big ones today, and they're playing with a little bit of a different attitude here in the second half. That's a really nice tackle by the true freshman, Zaquan Patterson.
They feel he's going to grow into something very special. He comes from Chaminade Madonna. Was a 5-star prospect. They have been mining big-time recruits with Mario Cristobal, and he's one of the young ones. Reminder that the great rivalry, number 2 Georgia against Florida, is coming your way right here on ABC, and the kickoff time is going to be 3:50, so we're 19 minutes away from that great rivalry there in Jacksonville. Jesse, a rivalry that you took part in with Coach Spurrier back in the day.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Those were 2 pretty talented teams going back and forth.
Ball is out, and it is picked up by Miami. Another turnover here as Cam Pruitt, the true freshman linebacker, with the fumble recovery.
Yeah, it looked like Malik Murphy was trying to step up in the pocket to avoid the rush. He hit his own player. It was Brian Parker at right tackle who popped it free. Akeem Mesidor had a chance. Watch. He actually kind of like tried to scoop it up. And then I think inadvertently just lateraled it back to his own teammate.
Worked out pretty well.
I don't think that was designed, but another massive takeaway for this Miami defense.
Ruben Bain was disruptive as well. You see Mesidor from Ottawa.
The hotbed of football in North America.
You and I spent about a half an hour breaking down the CFL postseason stretch run yesterday.
We did, I know.
Sick in the head. So Miami out to put this one away. Explosive fourth quarter from the Canes as Jordan Lyle will get some time at running back. A very good looking true freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas, not far away from the stadium.
And going back to what I was saying earlier, the question mark with Miami secondary, Joe, I really do think that's a big thing.
It is.
You know, that was a big question mark coming into this year. They had replaced 4 or 5 starters. Now they're starting to get thinned out by injuries, and they've given up big plays. We've seen safeties miss tackles and take bad angles or been busts on the back end. If Miami were to play a team like an Oregon or an Ohio State or a Georgia that have very talented receiving rooms, might that bite them? The good news is Miami's going to score on anybody. I don't care who they play.
I mean, listen, we saw it with what they did as they go with George here. Doesn't find much. We saw it in the game against Cal, the game against Louisville, right? The game against Virginia Tech. Miami can score with anybody, and that's what makes it so fun to think about the matchups and knowing what you're going to get on the field. If things stay the course, say Miami goes on ACC championship, they're going to be in the Peach Bowl playing a team that would have won their way in, probably a really good SEC kind of team. Yeah. I think it's fascinating because I know they can put points up against anybody.
They're going to win or lose, but it's going to be 40-something, 40.
That's right. You're going to have arena football, ball going crazy. Scoreboard lighting up as we see every single week with this offense. Under 3.5 to play. Third down, Ward downfield again. What a catch that time by Riley Williams.
Williams is working one-on-one against the safety Terry Moore, and with a 22-point lead with 3 minutes to go, Miami's still taking shots deep down the field. Cam Ward sees the matchup he likes to the big tight end. You know, it's funny, Joe, we keep talking about the receivers at Miami and the running backs and Cam Ward. What about the tight end room?
Oh, Arroyo, Lofton, and Williams?
A position that was a weakness a year ago. As a group only had 154 yards total. They've already got more than 400 yards and 6 TDs as a group through 8 games.
First and goal just to cap this thing as Ward puts it away with that third down completion. This time he's sacked. Ball is out, and Duke recovers at the 10-yard line.
Okay. I think now if you're Mario Cristobal, you take Cam Ward out of the game.
Please.
Yeah, and we don't need to be throwing the ball anymore up 22, down with less than 3 minutes to go. We just talked about what this team might look like in the college football playoff. It doesn't matter if number one's not playing quarterback. So,
Barry Moore coming in on him.
Yeah, so let's just close the game out now, run the ball. Because it's those kind of shots you don't want your quarterback taking. Cam Ward very lucky he's okay there. Look at Shannon Dawson. He's like, dude, I'm calling handoffs. Stop RPOing.
Exactly. Terry Moore had the sack. Deshaun Stone had the recovery. And Cam Ward, okay, you're walking off the field. Remember, he just had the big completion. Jesse, he has 400 yards passing and 5 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, like he wants to throw his 6th late in this game, but you just got to kind of know when it's over. A remarkable day by Cam Ward. Never gets phased. Remember, there was that stretch where he'd only completed 3 of 11. The start of the second half, and he just comes out. He just keeps slinging it around. And you're just going to have to live with the crossbody throws and the bad interceptions like we've seen, but just the upside with this guy. It's not just the physical attributes to me, Joe. It's the fact that he's an alpha. Yep. His leadership and his poise, he just has the things you can't coach, and it's what makes him special.
2-minute timeout has arrived. Been an emotional day for a couple of families here. Mark Fletcher, of course, the passing of his dad. He scored a touchdown moments ago as they were celebrating. And then the Restrepo family, as Xavier is now the record setter in Miami history. Against Florida, number 2 Georgia, coming up in about 10 minutes right here on ABC against an improving Florida team, especially on defense. As Murphy goes to Brown. Brown crossing the entire field looking to pick up blocks here with under 2 minutes to go. So Manny Diaz returns to Miami. He does so with everybody pointing a finger saying, how does it feel? What's the emotion? He says, listen, I'm at peace. I've moved on. First year at Duke, put together a pretty good defense. Got a quarterback who's developing. Duke team is pretty decent.
Yeah, and the score doesn't indicate just how well Duke played in this game. I mean, they were in control going in at halftime, and they fought back after a tough loss a week ago. Look at their schedule coming up, Joe. At NC State, Virginia Tech, and at Wake Forest. All very winnable games. I'll tell you, Duke could end up with 9 wins, maybe 10. 9 wins would be the second 9-win season in 3 years. Still lots to play for the Blue Devils.
A lot of people still wondering how they didn't get a win last week and maybe would have been ranked coming into this game. 6 turnovers against SMU. Peyton Jones takes it out of bounds. First down, Duke.
And for Miami now, you know, offensively, got things rolling. It's been that way each and every single week. It's going to be interesting to see what the defensive backfield lineup looks like moving forward now with some guys getting a bit more banged up. That's a unit, and that's a group on the back end of this defense that I think is going to be the determining factor of just how far this Miami team can go.
Murphy comes back on the receiver screen to Robertson. It was a record-breaking day for Xavier Restrepo. 8 catches, 146 yards. #1 all-time now in receptions and in receiving yards in Miami history.
Which is crazy when you think about Santana Moss, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, Michael Irvin, all of the greats that have played that position at Miami. And just what Xavier Restrepo has been able to do.
Reminder that Florida and #2 Georgia from Jacksonville is coming up in moments as soon as we finish up right here with Duke in Miami. Hey, DJ Lagway, who was, listen, the all-everything recruit, gets to Florida, and now this is going to be his 3rd start for the Gators. What do you think DJ Lagway can offer up against the Bulldogs?
Well, he's extremely accurate, especially throwing the football vertically down the field. The question is he going to have time? I don't know if DJ Lagway has seen a pass rush like what he's about to see here today. That's going to be a big factor is can the Gators offensive line give him time, because the Gators do have weapons outside at receiver that can stretch the field.
Of course, Carson Beck on the other side for Georgia. It's a 3rd down and 7 for Duke here. Murphy is going to be taken down. Carson Beck, by the way, is from Jacksonville, Florida. You know that rivalry so well and what it means in that city. You're a local kid playing in that rivalry game.
It's huge. Obviously, it has major recruiting implications as well in both states, but nationally. It really is a great game between 2 schools with phenomenal tradition and tons of talent.
Speaking of talent, there is Cam Ward, Shannon Dawson, his offensive coordinator. They have been the best in the country this year. 53 more points to add to all their statistical superlatives. Cam Ward's day, Jesse, is going to finish with 400 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Ray Joseph fields this and makes the most of that return here in the closing moments. In the second half, when this thing became a real battle and they were trailing, he just took off. Look at the second half.
Well, and again, we've seen this so many times this year against Cal, Virginia Tech, even Louisville when the game was on the line. In second halves of games, Cam Ward plays his best, and that's what you want from the quarterback position.
He was 61%, 25 of 41 today. Came in leading the nation in completions over 20 yards. He gave us some big-time highlights downfield again today, as Miami is going to stay perfect. Move to 9-0. First reveal of the rankings will come on Tuesday night, and there's top 5 Miami sitting there with the best offense in the country. A reminder, we're going to get you right to Florida and number 2 Georgia soon enough. 53-21 is your final here. It was fun until Miami just took off in the fourth quarter. For Katie and Jesse, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your day with a little Florida and Georgia coming your way. But first, let's get you back to our college football scoreboard studio with my good buddy Kevin Nagati. Take it away, my man.
Thank you so much. Cannot wait for this matchup. Number 2 Georgia Trevor Etienne and the Dogs getting ready for the Florida Gators. Kickoff less than 5 minutes away right here on ABC.